Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everyone doing today? Welcome in, and that is not the right upper screen that we want to have right now. We want this guy. There we go. Let's go, chat. How's everyone doing? Welcome in. Once again, I'm Scotty49, and today we've got Dungeons and Gumdrops Session 12 and Into the Fire Part 2. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Pretty much I'll do the recap a bit later on with the rest of the team as we're getting everything started. I'm super keen for this session because there's finally going to be some combat. After a few sessions where we actually haven't had combat. Because the last time we had combat was at the Bone Grinder. And that was kind of like 2 sessions ago. And again, it wasn't all that much. So I'm very much keen to get that going as well. Which is going to be great. Super pumped for it. But yeah, how's everyone in chat doing? How have you guys been going? How's your Fridays been if you're on the other side of the world? Because to some of you, I am future man. Because being in Australia, we were one of the first countries to have the fresh day of time in the world. Which is absolutely awesome. Love it. Love it. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. We're also going to work on the Necrons after the stream as well. We're going to work on some Necron Warriors and the Canoptic Reanimator as well, getting their basing done. So the Warriors actually will do the second coat of the black on their bases and the first coat on the Canoptic Reanimator. We may even end up doing the second coat on the Canoptic Reanimator as well, and that means we'll be able to get both units done during the week, which is going to be really cool. I'm super pumped. I'm just churning through hobby stuff at the moment, chat. Just so psyched about it. It's just legit. So much fun. Now, I'm just going to have a quick look at the Discord. We are still waiting on our GM, Bird. We are unsure where she is at. I'm sure she won't be too far off. I'll just check the general chat for everything. But yeah, it's going to be good fun tonight. I'm really keen. What do you guys think of D&D? Are you guys enjoying watching it? Or if you're playing with me, are you guys enjoying playing? Like, I'm actually really enjoying D&D. It's a good break from just straight hobbying, which for 3 sessions in a week, gonna be honest, it's a lot of hobby progress, not gonna lie. Because it's, 3 to 3.5 hours on a Tuesday night, 3.5 to 4 hours on a Friday night, and then another 4 hours on a Saturday. That's like 11 hours of hobby progress a week. You can churn through a lot of stuff there. But at the rate that, we're getting some D&D in, but we're also, getting hobby stuff done as well, at kind of like an hour and a half a day, I think that math works out. Because what's that? It's about 10.5 hours. So what we do, just under an hour and a half a day worth of hobbying every week, which is actually really cool. I love it, having this much hobby time and being able to get through the amount of projects that I've gotten through, especially with the new army we're doing for the invitational event coming up in January, which, fingers crossed, COVID decides to bugger off from us here in Canberra, and we're allowed back into South Australia, even transiting through New South Wales because I have to drive by car. It's going to be a lot, but it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. Games Workshop have finally opened their warehouse back up, so we're going to be able to start purchasing, and our local store is able to do click and collect orders, which is awesome. About time. So let's just say that the first order of stuff for the army is going in this coming week, I hope. Hey, Boxer Nacho, how you doing, brother? Welcome in, welcome in.
Hello there.
Scotty, the memes. The memes have started, chat. So we were kind of in the pre-stream chat with the team. And, yeah. I was kind of talking about the Australianism of... I'm not funny, Aasim Mar. iEnemyBeneath jumping in as well.
Hello there.
You guys crack me up. You guys absolutely crack me up. So we were talking about how, well, I was talking about how Australians always add a Y or an O on the end of people's names. Like you think Scotty makes sense, spelt with a Y, not an IE. Or I've got a mate of mine, Sean, who I call Shauno. And it's just like his name with an O on the end. It's like, but these guys decide to go and combine the two together and go, hey presto, Scotty-O. Scotty-O. It's really weird, really random. Love the guys for it though. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. That's why we love playing. I love playing D&D with both of you. You guys are great, absolutely great. Just holding fast. We're just gonna wait on Bird, who's because otherwise the overlays will be shot. Like it'll be pretty visibly shot in terms of who's where and everything. So once Bird jumps in, we'll swap on over. But yeah, hope you guys are, enjoying D&D at least. I know Box and iEnemyBeneath are. So hopefully it's, it's good fun. I'm enjoying it. I do worry sometimes where I'm a bit intense. Or a bit too much in terms of dominating the conversation, or just, doing too much RP from Altharion's part and not giving everyone else the opportunity to RP as well. Like, that's something that I'm always kind of concerned about in the back of my mind, because I know that I can be quite dominant in a conversation and how things are going forward, I guess. So I really want to give everyone else an opportunity to be able to, hang out and play their characters as well and enjoy the campaign. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep on keeping an eye on. Looks like everyone's still chatting away, which is awesome. So yeah, it's good fun. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Like session 12 now. We've been doing this for almost 4 months. We've been playing D&D. Almost 4 months. That's crazy to me. That is actually crazy that it's been 4 months. And to think I've had multiple events where I've been missing as well, and we've, other people have been away the same day, and we just kind of hold fast on the campaign, and we took like a month off just because it couldn't line up, and we're just now consistent. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. So we may as well jump in to chat with everyone. I'll keep it on this screen so you guys can see me, but you won't be able to see everybody else. So yeah, let's unmute Discord here and get Discord unmuted as well. Howdy everyone, how we doing?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Nah, Joe, I knew you'd do that straight off the rip.
I mean, I said I would.
Yes, you did, good sir. Yes, you did. Have we got a rough ETA on Bird?
Send her a DM.
No, we don't know where Dungeon Mommy is.
Right.
Yep.
Because I know
You're only
I know
getting away with it because you're still quiet.
Yeah.
Well, my stream was PG. No, it was never.
But yeah, because I know she said she's going away this weekend, so she might be tied up with potentially doing something.
Yeah, but she
for that.
said she said in chat earlier that earlier in the week that she was going to be here on Friday.
Okay. Okay.
He's leaving Saturday.
Yeah. Right.
Well, kind of might be right. They might be back and stuff,
Yeah. So. But yeah.
There's no good changeling art. I mean, there's some. It just.
There's so much good changeling art.
I mean, all art can be changeling art. That's the thing.
Exactly.
just yeah. That's the point.
You should.
Hey,
You should do that and just have like 5 different pictures, and they're absolutely not the same person.
Completely different. Yeah.
This is what he looks like.
One of them is just going to be a picture of Smithy.
Nice.
Why are we speculating on where Bird is? Why don't we just send Sky to go find her? He's the time traveler.
Oi!
Hey, Scotty, can you go
Yeah.
find her like an hour ago?
You guys underestimate the future man abilities.
Underestimate? Wow.
That's if it's underestimating, then we are in luck.
Oh, sorry, I meant overestimating. Freudian slip there.
In Australia, under is over and over is under. So
Got it. Yeah.
You
yeah,
get
yeah,
it? Yeah. So, you know, Northern Hemisphere speak, it's over. Yeah.
right, gotcha. Perfect.
Mm.
See?
So
Balithal
down
gets it.
under for a reason.
I always found it funny when people would be like, "You ever been to Australia and see that the toilet water spins the other way?" And then I stopped and thought to myself, "Who took the time to look at that?"
Yeah, who went over to Australia? Was like, you know what? This
What I
toilet
wanna
doesn't
know-
look right.
And I should like ask my dad because I think he actually got to do this because he was in the Navy. I mean, if you go over the equator, does it just keep flipping around? I don't get it.
Interesting. I think it would have to do with particularly the gravitational pull of the two poles. I think that's what causes
All
it.
right, nerd.
like you can talk, Balithal. You're here
Nerd.
playing D&D as well.
Yeah, but there's a difference between what we're doing, Scotty, and what you're doing. Because see, we're the cool guys, and you're talking about gravitational pulls. Ooh.
And I can do you one better and tell you that the poles of the planet are not what cause gravity.
I'm fully aware. I was just trying to make sure. I was trying to see if anyone would pick up on that as well.
You have to use the pin
Oh,
particles
he's
to understand where they're at.
Yes, I was testing. No, it is the Earth's core is what causes the gravitational field.
It's the force.
The force.
Now that I believe. Why didn't you just start with that?
yeah.
These guys are loose, chat.
On a level to be prepared for this kind of argument.
Actually, what keeps everyone on Earth is actually me and my pure like will to keep everyone here. That's why like Australia, they have to use harnesses to stay on the
I
ground.
need you to
Wow.
relax a little bit.
Just take 10% off it, there, Chief.
Real quick, you guys, can you all do me a quick favor and join that
Sure.
link that I just posted? I
I'm
want to
worried.
try out this captions thing and see if it works.
Says the link is invalid for me.
Yep,
Same.
invite link is invalid.
Invalid.
What?
Yep,
Yep,
the
I got the same thing.
Do I
How
have
about
to
you send us some valid
seriously?
links and we'll do it? How about that?
Oh my god, do I have to send
Invalid.
it individually?
Probably.
Oh.
Potentially.
I'm going to lose my mind.
Yep.
Okay,
Sorry
here you
there.
go. Going down the list, Babalu, you tried to join that link that I just sent you.
I've always been curious if
Is
those
this
captain
link
could
old
pick
or
me
is
up.
it one that you
So
just made?
Sugarsockz is trying to set up some
It
captions.
just says invite user.
for us.
So
For D&D.
I can have
So-
10 users total. So there we go.
We'll see how this
You
goes for us.
sure you want me on
Oh
here?
wow, it actually picked up on Babalu. That's pretty damn cool.
Does it do it? So that's my next question is, does it do it?
Oh, whoa.
Why is it wanting to
It
use
does
my mic?
do it separately.
Does it?
Okay.
Oh wait. I'm
Okay.
an idiot. Never mind.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome. Okay. Let me continue to add
Ready?
users
7 of us?
here.
I have no
Nine,
clue what's
how
going on,
many?
but I'm doing it.
We have 10 people total. I did the
So
count
chat,
earlier.
if you want
so
to see what's
we are
going on in
good on that front.
Sugarsock's stream,
Oh, that's cool.
she's got captions
So if
that
I
are
go
going to
over
be
to your
going up
Twitch, I
as
guess I'm gonna
well.
see captions now.
It's
yes.
actually cool.
It's not picking up on yours though, Box. I'm not sure why.
Like,
Well, let's go
You have to make sure that
it's crazy.
whatever
It's actually crazy.
microphone you're
right.
using
Mhm.
is the proper one.
Okay, it probably isn't because I don't know.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Who am I missing here? Scotty?
Yeah,
Or not
nice.
Let me try it like
Scotty. And Fire. And Bird.
Is this like hot mic or?
It should only record whatever your microphone is picking up. So
Right.
yes.
So
That's very cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. That's sick.
Oh, we have to allow our mic, and we have to have this open the whole time. Okay.
Yes, you do.
So the
you're
only
gonna-
problem I have with this is I push to talk for Discord and just hot mic into my stream, and now you guys are gonna get
Oh,
Mine
that's gonna be
doesn't seem
great.
to be working anymore. Oh, now it is. Never mind.
All right.
Makes a good point.
Hopefully that should be working now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there we go.
working.
Sick. Nice.
Like, when did I say breadcrumbs?
You don't remember?
Like,
It's trying. Okay.
Breadcrumbs.
So there's another option for this as well that we can do. So Pixel Chat is free, which is what we're using. The other option is to have everybody link their own Twitch accounts and then send me their overlay links. So it's just you that's talking instead of like a whole dialogue like this.
Oh, I see.
That is the other option.
Oh.
Oh, it's picking up the TV behind you. Interesting. Oh, yeah.
Because it
So-
doesn't have a filter, it doesn't have a gate or anything like I have on
Yeah.
my.
So it's picking up on absolutely everything.
yeah.
That's interesting.
I mean, I don't have a problem. I can mute using my Go
I
XLR,
think it's
but
great, but
Let's see if I put
Did
this
I figure it
here.
out? Let's see.
whatever this is, I mean,
Properties.
that's where
This is
Breadcrumbs-
cool,
Yes.
chat. This is really cool.
that's exactly what I said. I can mute using my Go Excellent. That's exactly what I said.
So, yeah.
There we
But
go.
welcome in, everyone. Hope you're all having a great day. We are currently just
Bot,
waiting
can you hear
upon
me?
our Dungeon Master
even
to
hear
rock
you.
if I-
up.
Even if I mute it in my stream,
And,
it still picks up what
Very
I'm saying.
cool.
We can,
Yeah, because
we're
it's
just,
on Google Chrome.
waiting on, Bird to
You
rock
don't
up.
have to use it, to be clear.
So-
You do not have to use it.
No, I
but the
think
link
it'll
is
be
there
useful.
for anybody who wants to join it.
Can we
to
do
you.
settings on the microphone?
So, yeah, we're just, chilling for a bit with the crew,
fine.
and just kind of having a good yarn before the session.
I mean,
You
to
know
be
what?
perfectly
So,
honest
yeah.
with you, I don't have it set up on my overlay to have the captions, period. Because I wasn't sure how this was going to work. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, it's a good test.
Hmm.
So
Now-
I'm curious.
How about this? I'll just talk over you every time you say something. I'll say the exact same thing, so it's all captioned.
Ridiculous.
That's gonna be confusing.
Yes, 100%.
You just have to change your voice so that you sound like Balithal.
I mean,
It's not picking up on me at all for some reason. So
I've
Are
noticed you
you?
have to
Do
have
you
the
have the
window
proper
open.
microphone?
yeah, it has the right microphone. The window
Yeah.
open as in like it can't be a minimized tab, maybe.
No, like when I had Sugarsockz stream up as like my main window, it wasn't picking up the captures, so I had to put it as like a sub window
That
and just
should
make it
still
really
work
tiny.
because mine's not.
Yeah.
Mine is not the main window.
Weird.
Yeah, me
it wasn't
neither.
working for me, but
Hmm.
yeah, like my side should be fine as well. Like if I minimize it, it should still be coming up, right?
Yeah.
I am testing my
Oh,
captions.
Oh, a bird.
we have a bird. Bird's here. The dungeon mommy's here.
Oh, don't call her that. That's so weird.
We've got our Dungeon Master with us, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get over to the Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah,
stream.
welcome to welcome
People are
to
starting to cry.
Yeah, I
And
don't like it.
We are all ready
I'm
to
scared.
go.
So what works fine?
We have captions now.
Yes.
Yeah. We're trying.
The window open, and it's
I rage quit,
Fine, you know.
so
Balithor's like, nah, I'm done. Forget it.
You guys just have to type your dialogue out for the rest of the night.
I'm
Yeah,
ready.
it sounds like a Balithal
It
response.
could be his punishment.
Oh.
I'm gonna start
hey, wait.
muting and then just talking to Sugar's chat.
bird.
I mean, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Do you see my madness?
I licked it a little bit, yeah. Yeah. You're a special brethren.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Oh, that's a big old blue
It
box.
took me 7 hours.
I was gonna say, Sugar, there's a weird box.
A weird
Why
box.
is there this animal
There was an OBS
was-
box up. It's gone now.
Oh yeah, I'm
Oh,
aware.
it was just
I'm
the
working on
captions.
things. Okay,
Yeah.
Jesus. I don't know where to put these captions.
She's doing things.
What's in the box?
I don't know where to put these.
You know.
Ooh,
Yes.
I don't think it's gonna be a good
Captions
session.
are
guys.
hilarious.
The bagpipe roll wasn't high enough.
Starting with a 10. Nice. I'm like, oh boy, that's not good.
I mean,
So
I
what I'm
got
gonna do. Sorry.
I got 3 crit ones in my 20d20 roll. Like that should be all
I
my bad
mean-
luck gone.
So prepare for a TPK. Right. All right.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! No, 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 no,
I'm
no.
just
A
getting
little early
started.
for the T word. Jeez.
We were.
Hey,
we
Wiki
were
Clown,
totally
how you doing?
joking
Welcome
for
in.
no reason.
We're all dying.
You're all dying. I mean, I'm just
I
saying.
mean, I am dying.
I don't
It's
even
all
know that's
over y'all.
playing. Everyone's
Yeah, I
too
mean,
loud.
If we really
I'm-
want to
I'm
get
questioning,
real about it, we are all dying.
So,
Yes.
No, I'm just like the Usain Bolt of dying.
Oh God.
I'm questioning Smithy's and Nacho's decision to come down here right now.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
No, good idea. Good
It's
idea.
okay.
Good
Everything's fine.
idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie,
don't
I'm
forget
terrified.
what we
You see, the thing is I've never regretted a decision my entire life, so I'm not gonna start today.
Oh,
I couldn't let my dragonborn brother go down here alone.
I couldn't be not a part of what's going on.
It seemed like you regretted swimming, to be fair.
I did not. It was
This
quite
is gonna be
enjoyable.
hilarious, chat. This is gonna be hilarious.
Where are you? Oh, you're under that. Here, there you are. I found you.
Also, I've decided with the captions where it's gonna pick it up even if I'm muted. I'm gonna start muting myself randomly. I'm gonna start talking to Sugarsockz's chat.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
So, I mean, I would prefer you didn't do that.
Wow.
Personally, as this is a accessibility feature, so if we could not be a douche about it, that'd be pretty neat. I'd appreciate that.
Jesus made me feel bad.
All right.
Boy, oh boy.
But you
I think
guys
this was
really
the
don't want
map
to
that
be
I can
subjected to
actually
hot Mike
see.
Balithal, so
I mean, no, probably not.
I want to hear what's going on TV.
yeah, that's the problem. It's picking everything up that the TV's saying. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at least that's not your fault.
No,
entirely.
in fact, it's
I
because your
mean,
mic is
yeah.
too good. Stop.
Yeah.
You're just
Gotta
gonna see
crap
this
your
closed
mic,
caption
man.
be like, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll intelligence, and tonight at 6 o'clock.
Well,
Love it.
are we all good for the recap?
Yeah,
I think so.
I mean, I'm ready.
yes,
Just-
we are ready.
I'm so ready.
All right, let's do it.
Lay it on me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the recap of session 11 of Dungeons and Gumdrops and Into the Fire. So, we pick up the party having just found Stanamier once again, and him, and with us having told him about what had happened at the encampment and what we saw. He said, "Come along, we need to build an army." So we follow him into this large settlement. And we are stopped by the guards at the gate. Stanamier went through perfectly fine. We're stopped by the guards. And this particularly tall female guard is talking with Altharion. And is pretty much like, "Who are you? We need to know everyone here."
You remember? Sorry.
Rukhar. And so he rattles off everyone's list, the list of everybody that's there, and they go, and the guards are like, "Okay, one false move, and you guys will be thrown in the dungeons." Like, okay, that's the type of city we're walking into, right? So we head into this settlement from the east gate. And there's kind of a stockyard as we're entering, kind of probably about 50 meters or so in. It's on our left-hand side with a small festival cart in there. And then there's also, as we get further in towards the southeast in the settlement, there is a large square that has got a statue facing west. Now, we also get a bit of some bearings about what some things are around. There's a coffee shop to the east of the square and a toy shop to the north, Binsky's. And pretty much we find out, and we see these people in stocks wearing, were they horse heads or were they donkey heads, something like that?
Donkey heads, I think.
Yeah. And there was people like, throwing stuff at them, harassing them, but they were pretty much people who were put in there for not being happy enough within the city, is what we were told. There was also a lot of papers around, so it was kind of the main place where a lot of things were happening from what we could gather in terms of political sense. Then this gentleman's walking around with 2 armed guards and ripping down a bunch of posters. And so the party decides, okay, let's go and talk to this gentleman because we need to find out, what's going on, where Stanamier is, because he ran off. He went off without us. And also if there's anything the actual city needs help with. And this gentleman that we speak to is Burgomaster Isaac. So from his appearance, he's quite, quite prickly, you could think, in terms of like approaching and talking to. But he was actually like quite amicable once we actually started talking with him. Currently in the stocks, there are 3 men, 2 women, and 2 boys. They're all humans and they're drenched. Then Burgomaster Isaac decided to give us a tour of the settlement. So we went around, he showed us the Blue Water Inn, which was opposite the toy store, and because we're Stanamier's guests, they were willing to give us a discount. There's St. Angril's Church, which is the largest city in the building on the western side of the settlement. And then to the north of the square is the Watcher House, and I believe this is where Stanamier is staying. We also find out the name of the Baron, who is the person in the statue from memory, and is the person who's been writing all these notes around that Burgomaster Isaac was taking down. And his name is Baron Vargas Valenkocht. And he's in the town daily, closer to nighttime, so there is the assumption that he's potentially a vampire. Now, but Altharion kind of pushes Burgomaster Isaac for a bit more information if there's anything the town needs help with, and he tells him about a mage that hasn't been seen in a while. We find out that he went to the north, and he actually went to the other side of the lake, and that he's known for mental instability. And we find out a bit more information. We catch up with Stanamier and we start talking to him. After the next couple of things, we also find out about Bluto, who is the fisherman that was in the lake. He's a friend of Stanamier, but also a friend of Strahd at the same time. And that... Wait, wrong person, sorry. Fisherman, and he's dangerous in terms of he thinks that there's fish in there, he's going to catch some fish, but not. Then we go into the Worcester house, and Lady Fiona is the friend of Stanamier, but also a friend of Strahd. And so we kind of just head on in, a bit cautiously, because the place is rickety. As Altharion walks up, knocks on the door, and it sounds like it's about to fall down, effectively. And so we slowly head in, introduce ourselves somewhat to Lady Fiona. And then we... Stanamier comes down, we have a bit of a chat, and pretty much he starts talking about dealing with Strahd, and then Lady Fiona is like, not in this house you won't, because she's a friend of Strahd. she won't let that kind of speak happen. So we start to work our way out of the house after being told to not leave the area, to not leave the area after the town has gone to sleep, per se, as it is perpetually twilight in the realm of the dead. Not realm of the dead, sorry, realm of the dread that we are in. There are direwolves patrolling around that are sent by Strahd. And the Mage's Tower, which is where the mage is missing. So that's where we're potentially going to have to end up going at some point. We should look at stopping everywhere that we can. There's an abandoned town to the southwest, just outside the city walls. And it's quite a point of Strahd's frustration for certain things that we are unsure of at this point. And that Stanamier also says that we should avoid Isaac for the near future. So, after having some of these quiet discussions without getting too deep into what we're planning on doing to Strahd, we start to mosey out of the Worcester house, and that is where we pick up the party for session 12 and Into the Fire part 2.
I love it.
Very
I love
nice.
Okay, so
I'm scared.
don't be scared. I mean, be scared.
Then why'd you go
That's-
down?
I mean, be all the scared. Alright, so we have Avery, Drax, and Rukhar in the basement. As you guys descended these stairs, you notice that you're going into it's almost 2 flights, so it's pretty deep down below the house, considering. And it's got a dirt floor, so it's not really well taken care of. The stairs are wooden, stone with a wooden railing, which is rare for the house itself. Everything else was immaculate. Upstairs were beautiful, they almost looked like regal carpeting that went up into the second story of the house. It was absolutely gorgeous. But down here feels dingy, and it smells a little weird. There's tracks in the grounds that you can tell that lead from one staircase to the other on the opposite side of the room that looks like it goes to another staircase 2 flights up and out, possibly to the outside of the house, but it could go anywhere. From where you're standing, you wouldn't have any idea, but these footprints go from one to the other, and then there's another trail that goes from both staircases straight down the center of the room to the bare wall.
Somewhat
that's to the
Wicked
west
Clown.
of the house.
Somewhat. We're not in an abandoned
so you're
village right
standing,
now. We're in a
You
large
see all
settlement.
of these footprints
But
going
there
back and
is an
forth.
abandoned village
But there's nothing that you
that's
can
around.
see on that wall
But you are
to
pretty much
signify
on
a
the money.
doorway. There's 4 very neatly made cots that look more fair than you'd expect down here. They're clean. They don't look too shabby. The fabric seems nice enough. You'd probably sleep in them if they were made available to you. They're comfortable looking. What would you guys like to do as you're looking around this? It's just bare walls, dirt floor with some footprints.
I would like to move towards this wall while sipping
The bare
my
wall.
wine.
While sipping your damn wine.
Such a lush.
Beautiful. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Okay. Can you give me an investigation check? That's what I want. Yeah.
It's very decisive. Very
I
decisive.
was debating on what it was going to be. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to go with whatever just falls out of my mouth at this moment.
Investigation.
Yeah. So you stand in front of the wall and there's nothing visible that you can see. However, when you touch the wall a little bit and you spread your hands right through the center, right above where the footprints are, it clicks. and the door just kind of slowly pops open, going inward. Before the door even opens, you can smell the burning candles. You can see a little bit of like a flickering light coming through what's slightly open of the door. Would you like to open it more? Would you like to go in? What are your compadres doing? Rukhar, are you just following him, or you have ideas of your own?
Yeah, Rokhar's got his 6, and he's just he's gonna support Jack X in whatever he does here.
Okay. Avery, what are you up to?
Avery is just going to sort of like, grab. He's going to sort of stand at the top of the stairs. I'm guessing these are railings that I could jump over, but he's just going to watch.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna open the door.
Okay, cool.
Let's do it.
Uh-oh. Here we go, team. They're going to get into some combat here, I reckon.
All right, so as you open the door, the smell is worse than it was prior. You can smell pungent death and ash and the dirt being moved around so much in the room that it's just everything's coming up from the ground.
So
It's about-
what you're telling me is I'm smelling happiness.
Yeah, for you, yeah, you're smelling, pretty content, to be fair. As you
Ashes,
look
wicked
in,
clown.
you
Ashes,
notice
by
right away
sounds.
there's iron holders that hold burning candles on the 3 points of the room that you can see from where you're standing. The ceilings are not too tall in comparison to you guys, just a couple feet more, about 10 feet-ish, give or take. There's a large black pentagram painted into the stone floor, painted into the stone that's in the floor in the center. The outskirts of the room are dug up dirt. At each point of the pentagram rests a wooden chair, and seated in 4 of the chairs are men and women in black robes with large hoods, faces hidden. There's a man directly across from you. That would be this one here. He's young. He looks up at you just enough that you could get just a glimpse of his face. And he looks almost angelic. His face is almost Aasimar. The others you can't quite make out yet, as they all have their heads down with the hoods completely covering and shadowing most of their
Uh-oh. Chat. Uh-oh.
Okay. I look back at Avery and Rukhar. We got 4 people in here.
Let's go say hi.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm gonna walk in.
I'm right
Okay.
behind him.
All right.
I'm gonna walk in and be like, so, what's today's agenda?
Yeah. All right. Come on, open. Righty then. So, as you walk in, the gentleman that you could see his face stands up. And he keeps this stance to him that seems noble. But he doesn't speak to you at all. And he kind of looks around in this downward glance at the others in the room with him. And he just clears his throat, just enough to get everyone to look up. As they all start to look and you're peering at each one of them is a older man, rather large of a man, a short, squat, almost middle-aged woman, and a taller, younger woman, giving you a very unsettling glare. The woman, the shorter woman, All she does is look you right in the eye and say, "You should leave." And as that happens, between you and Rukhar, you feel almost like a wind go past you. And a couple of seconds later, Avery feels the same thing.
I'll look back at
Boring.
the lady that looks at me and like, and why is that? And then I take a swing of the wine.
She just kind of shakes her head and she looks back at who you're assuming is kind of rallying and leading them all through this process. And he just looks and he shakes his head and he sits back down. You hear almost a scurrying coming from upstairs. Not too quick, but just quick enough that it does catch your attention.
Oh, I 100% agree, Wicked Clown. 100% agree, it's a trap.
I look back towards where the sound might be coming from.
Does Avery hear anything since he's on the stairs?
Avery, can you give me a perception check?
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Ouch.
Bagpipes.
I'm trying to think if Avery has anything. No, not really. Do you have any special languages that you know, or is it just common?
I know Common, Elven, and Dwarvish.
Okay, that doesn't help. No, you hear a similar scurrying that they do, a little bit louder. It's definitely heading out towards the back of the house. And there was some muffled but alarming chatter going on.
I'm just grinning in the room. This is gonna be fun.
Rokhar's gonna look at Drakax and be like, "Hey, there's a free chair there. Maybe you should go take a seat."
You guys are horrible.
Oh, gosh.
Let's go. I'm gonna sit down on the chair and like just start drinking my wine and crossing my legs. Comfortable.
So, for your information, Wicked Clown, Drakax and Rukhar. Drakax is a warlock and Rukhar is Eldritch Knight, so both
Captain
magical.
Chaos over here, so it probably was going to come into something anyway. I'm kind of aware. So, as you're all sitting here, kind of almost stalking down the stairs behind Avery is Lady Wachter.
Oh God.
Who seems angrier than she did before when you started talking about Strahd and possible plans against him. And she comes down fairly aggressively, and she doesn't even pay attention to Avery much because he's not part of the problem. He kind of pushes past him a bit and almost like wishes him out of her way. But a few seconds after she gets past him and she's down the second flight and turning the corner, he feels that familiar little brush of air pass him again.
Hey Dragoon, how you going? Welcome in, welcome in.
As she walks into the room, she notices you sitting, and she looks at the others, and you can see almost
Howdy game on Steve, how you
just
doing?
a disbelief in the weakness. She looks at them they're not very important to her, and you can see it in her eyes. She's more irritated with them that they haven't done anything yet. What are you doing, sir, in that chair?
Well, I pointed at the people in the room. I asked them what the agenda for today was.
They cannot speak to you.
What's that?
They cannot speak to you. Why would they speak
What's
to
that?
you? Why would they?
I have no idea. Why wouldn't they speak to me?
But they're not down here to speak. And she kind of lifts her hand a little bit. Almost looks like she's casting a
No,
spell.
she's not. To
They
my
can't really
knowledge,
make
at
out
least,
what she's
Wicked Clown.
doing, and they all simultaneously, minus the one girl, open their mouth and show you they have no tongues.
Delicious.
Okay, then.
That's creepy.
Rukhar is gonna look at her and say, "You did tell us we were free to look anywhere in the house."
Well, upstairs. She goes, why would you go into a dingy basement? You should be better than that. And you should also leave.
All right.
The girl who spoke to you kind of looked at you in a desperation way as you walked past.
I haven't left the room. I'm just gonna stand up,
Yeah.
look her in the eyes, and just straight ask her. Have you received the message from Birdesque?
Ooh.
Oh, that's how we're starting
Maybe.
the session. Okay.
Maybe.
Start the session.
All
Looks
right.
at you, and she turns her head a little bit. She goes, no, why would I?
Just wondering. And I pointed at the girl that talked to me. It's like, how come out of everyone here, can't you talk to me?
She hasn't made it yet.
Made what?
Well, the club, of course.
Cult. Said
Ah,
cult wrong.
No, you're all good, Wicked Clown. Don't, you don't have to be quiet, brother.
Missy.
It's fine. Feel free to ask questions. I mean, I've got it in the title. They're definitely welcome.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
I know, right? Right?
Those words are
we
often
joined
synonymous.
said club.
Yeah. What'd you say, Kane? Sorry.
I said, how do we join said club?
We don't.
You can't. You don't live here. You don't belong here. You're only welcome in because of Stanamier, and by the looks of it, you won't be welcome back.
Why is that? I wasn't around. I don't know what they spoke about up there. I was enjoying the nice wine that I found in the cellar. Thank you, by the way.
It's delicious, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is.
It's made from human blood.
It might be.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
Checked, in fact.
Let's say this, out of character. I mentioned it to Bird. She told me to not to make it.
Yeah.
And I didn't bother. I really don't care. I'm going with it.
Wine's wine, right?
Gross.
I mean,
It's made of ground up meat stick.
I'm a dragonborn. I literally ate elf in my last campaign. Okay.
Yes.
Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair.
you yell at me for drinking water. That's fine. Whatever.
I mean,
Naga's not sad.
Naga's not in the room.
He's got a point.
water to some degree. So at this point, she looks over at Rukhar and she goes, "And you? Why are you here?"
I'm here to support to support my
So
friend here,
Altharion's
and,
actually not in the room.
I don't know. It's sort of look
Altharion's
cool in here.
actually so
Like the
this is
painting on the
the
ground, some cool candles.
dungeon of the
Dragons
house.
always stick together, no
Altharion. This is the first
Well,
level of the house, and
absolutely.
Altharion's outside.
And she
To bring
kinda
you up to
looks
speed,
behind
game on
her,
Steve.
She glances over at Avery a little bit.
So we're following the 3 party members that are down below,
Are
which
you
is
trying to join
Drakax,
too?
Rukhar, and
Mayhem.
Avery.
Did that go through?
No, I heard ma'am.
No.
Said
Yep.
no, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Okay. So she steps in a little further and she kind of raises
Yes,
her eyebrow. And she
I
shuts the door
thought you
behind her.
would.
Uh-oh.
And Avery is going to say,
The party
out
had
loud,
started.
"That's enough cult shit for me today," and he's going to go back up the stairs.
Nice.
Well, it's nice knowing you, everybody.
Yeah.
Seeing that, I'm just gonna grin.
As Avery sees the door shut, every bit of sound that came out of that room completely vanishes. As he was shutting the door, Rukhar, you realize that the wall between you is almost 3 feet thick.
Oh crap. Okay.
Dang.
As she kind of walks in a little bit deeper, and the woman that's sitting in the chair stands so she can sit instantly. There's not even a discussion. And she sits and she goes, "Well, since you're here and since you're so interested, let me introduce you to my book club. As we come here,
Not a book club. What?
upstairs.
Liar.
You're upstairs. You're cute, but you're upstairs. So, so she goes.
Comment on her bullshit.
I mean, that is what she's all about. So she goes, "Here we gain power and wealth, long life. I promise all of them everything in the world that they would want, and I would protect them and their identities." And
I
they
don't-
joined.
I don't see any books though.
Well, theoretical.
Got it.
Theoretical book club.
So what's required to join said book club?
I teach them spells and we do some rituals. And she kind of stretches her hands out and you notice a little flick in her wrist. And everyone stretches their mouth a bit more. And their tongues are back. So you don't enter here to speak. You perform and you leave.
Do I recognize if the pattern on the floor is actually real or not?
Give me an Arcana check.
Can I help him out with that?
Sure. Yeah, you can roll one as well.
Nope, never
You're not
mind.
sure either. It doesn't ring anything
Oofed.
special,
Big oofed.
but you can't tell if it maybe could. But right now, it's nothing.
What if I do a detect magic down here?
I mean, you can't.
It's probably going to be glowing like the rest of the house.
Is it an automatic detect magic?
It is just a concentration, I believe it is. Give me a second.
It should be a cantrip of some kind, I'm sure.
There is a
Magic.
verbal and somatic component for what it's worth.
Concentration up to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay. Down here, you notice that there's not very much magic in this room
Yeah,
specifically.
I reckon it would be for detect magic
She's
for
very
sure.
magical. Her gown is almost glowing as bright as anything upstairs was, but the rest of the room seems rather full of nothing. In fact, and the floor is just stone. There's nothing special about it. Nothing you could tell anyway. And all of these other people that are here have literally nothing magical on them.
Okay. Interesting. I'm going to look over at Drakax
Mhm.
and just sort of just glance at him type of thing. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to look over.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I look at after I see, Rukhar looking at me.
Whoa.
I'm moving things. There it is.
I look back at her and I'm like, so if I decide to join, what could you offer me?
The same as I would give everybody else. You would come for weekly meetings where we would read from my manifesto and gather some wealth, some knowledge, and hopefully point everyone in the proper direction.
Yeah, right.
For life.
That's cool. So Drakax is sitting down in a chair,
Turn.
and Rokhar's standing up against the wall. So they're in place.
Well, I mean, you get power in the city, and you get.
But I get what you're
endless
saying,
life.
Gavin Steve. I get what you're
this
saying.
is Barovia.
I understood that. That's what I would get. But what do you get out of me?
What do I get? Well, if you haven't heard the conversations and the frustrations upstairs, I want my city back. And there's just a few gentlemen in the way. A baron, a burgomeister, you know, some of the Vistanis, they're a little in the way. So, every once in a while, these ladies and gentlemen and my sons usually go on projects for me.
Interesting.
Rokhar's gonna ask, so if you were to get your city back, what would that mean for the citizens here?
They would probably go living better than they are now. That Baron and his stupid ways. You can't always will people to be well. And if they're not happy, why force them? His stupid events, once a week, he has to deal with these stupid events that everyone has to entertain. And if you say anything bad about them, well, you likely get strung up somewhere on the stocks and stay that way until the next one, where you're suddenly so in love with the event that you have to be there, happily.
So those individuals with the donkey heads that we saw when we went to the town square, that's people who spoke ill against the Baron?
Yeah, but specifically the events and the ridiculousness of them. They are childish, and even the children don't like them. You could ask anyone. They might not tell you, though, considering it might get them saturated, starved, and hung up. But the city should go back to the way it was. It was beautiful. It was open. Vampires or not, it was just easier to allow people in and out freely and allow them to do what they wanted. So I've been in this house for, it's probably 500 years now.
Did you
He
say
comes in.
vampires?
Well, yes, Barovia. Strahd, our king.
You're pro Strahd.
Only the smart are. When you have someone of his stature on your side, you can get a lot farther in life.
I don't like where this is going.
It just scared the living shit out of me. Whoops.
Hearing that statement, I give out a chuckle.
I mean, if you care to disagree, you could leave. But I would keep my eye on that Isaac. He's a bit of trouble.
Rokhar's gonna look at her and be like, "We got a bit of a feeling that he could be trouble when we entered the city."
He follows blindly. He'll do anything that the Baron will tell him to do. The Baron according to him, saved his life. He didn't, but he thinks he did, so that's enough, I guess. That boy should have died and drowned in the lake, just like his sister did. But he didn't. And instead of getting in trouble for doing the bad things that he had done, the Baron took him in and essentially raised him. But you gotta be careful of that arm of his that he hides. You'll see what I mean, I'm sure, if you follow him around long enough.
I'm gonna nod. Take a look back at that girl that looked kind of scared.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look back at the crazy lady. I'm asked, so were you forced to join this club, or did you do it by choice?
And each of the, I'll call them cultists, look at you, and it looks like they're really thinking this through. They're not quite sure. But for each of them, it seems that they're not desperately trying to leave for one reason or another. One of the men kind of like grasps the fact that he has his tongue again for a minute. And it takes him a couple of seconds. He goes, if I didn't come here, the Baron would have killed me.
Which individual is this?
This would be the original one that kind of stood
there.
to you guys, yeah, at first. The angel-looking one.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. And the rest of them, as he finishes that sentence, kind of nod along. Like, yeah, that totally is life for us right now.
So Rukhar is gonna look at, I can't, that one right here, since he's standing right beside him, and just sort of look at him and be like, how long have you been here and what brought you to this place?
The gentleman beside you is rather tall. He's probably pushing 8 or so feet. He's a hulking, balding man. Definitely later in his years. And he kind of looks at you a little bit and he goes, it's been a long time.
Who knows, Wicked
Because I don't
Clown?
even
Who
really remember
knows?
what I did wrong. But I came here for some help, and well, as long as you do what she asks, you live fairly well.
What happens if you don't do as she asks?
Well, there's only 4 of us.
Was that what happened to the 5th?
Probably. I don't ask questions. It's safer that way.
Got it. Sort of just glances back at Drakax again. Sitting in that chair.
Sipping my wine.
Very happy with the wine.
Oh, I'm surprised it hasn't run out. I'm gonna look at the lady. I'm gonna stand up and be like, so if we wish to leave, as long as we don't partake on anything that you deem rude, we're welcome to leave, correct?
Free to go. She goes, but don't tell anyone. It's our little secret.
Who am I gonna tell?
I don't know, there's a whole
said, we are
slew of you guys up
outsiders.
there. I mean, the dragonkinds do stick together, but you do have a large ensemble upstairs.
Oh,
We're probably wondering where you are.
I look at her like with like a grin. Look straight at her eyes and be like, "You have a misunderstanding about the situation. Just because we're together doesn't mean that we're friends."
Kind of raises her eyebrow and she goes, that's all unfair. Goes, I don't leave the house ever, so if you ever need anything or you want more information, feel free to come back. But do beware of that Isaac. And as she says that, the man next to Rukhar pops the door back open, and she kind of just wills you on your way.
Rukhar, before he leaves, is just going to turn back and be like, if we ever reconsider our position and we may be re-interested in joining this book club of yours, is the offer still stand?
For eternity.
And he sort of nods, and then he'll make his way out.
Lovely. As Drax, are you actually leaving at this point, or are you still kind of just chilling right there, debating on leaving?
I'm chilling, like walking towards the door slowly. You know.
Okay. So as you start to approach the door, you feel that familiar yet little burst of wind past you. And when you turn around to really decide what it is, you find a little imp. And this little invisible imp that comes and goes as he pleases is holding a very large book. He hands the book to Lady Wachter, I hate her name, Fiona. And she gets comfortable and she opens up the book and she kind of brushes you along and she goes, well, you have to join if you want to listen. And everyone gets back to their seats.
I look back at her and it's like, I would recommend, I would suggest, if you have some time, reaching out to Balak.
Druids are not of my fancy.
He might have some interesting information to share about me.
Maybe I will have one of the boys do that.
And I will just mosey on while drinking the wine.
And as you leave, that door shuts right behind you with a little click.
Hoo-wee, chat. That was not the way I was expecting things to go.
To the first
Not at
landing of
all.
the staircase, Drax, because Rokhar's are long gone. You stand there for just a second. Yeah, right about there. And in the dirt in the ground, while you're listening, you could hear it moving. I'm still clicking buttons. Stop it. And when you focus a little bit harder, you notice that there's fingers, maybe, or bones coming out of the ground beneath all of the footprints.
Ah, lovely.
Damn it. Missed all the good stuff.
I see that. I'm just laughing, going up the stairs like a madman.
Like a madman. Lovely. It's the wine talking. All right, we're
Okay,
upstairs now. What do we want to do? Most of you have made it outside. I will
Yeah,
say.
Rokhar's made his way outside.
Altharion's kind of keeping pace with Stanamier.
Yeah.
Evanora will be relatively close to Altharion.
Okay. Beautiful.
nAga is immediately going to ask what the Dragon Bros were up to.
Where did you go, guys?
Yep.
I love it.
Don't mind us. We were having some fun. By the way, this wine tastes really good.
Oh my goodness.
Found out about an interesting book club.
Altharion will kind of cock his head and he'll go, what kind of book club? In these nefarious parts?
I look back at Altharion like, we should move out of here.
Okay.
The walls have ears. And the ground
Right.
has fingers.
Brown has fingers. Ew.
Wow. Altharion will go, okay, I'm going to take your word for that. Stanamier, please lead on.
Stanamier kind of raises his eyebrow a little bit and he goes, well, he's not wrong. As he kind of leads you out of here and back into the city, a little bit down the street. Let me move you guys around again. I think, is it this one? Just to make
Bird's
sure that I'm
gonna
good.
kill
Yeah.
me. How can I do think?
I mean, you've got some shit going on now. So
God, where am I?
this back up. All right, so I came through and I kind of edited some of the areas a little bit.
Nice.
Of it.
Just so that we can kind of just track generally what's going on, where we're going. So there's some names on some of the areas, and I know that Isaac had mentioned the Blue Water Inn would have a space for you to sleep if you wanted to. He mentioned a couple of other areas like the coffin makers, which is pretty cool. The toy shop, which is mainly dolls and trinkets. The church and his own mansion in the process. And Stanamier wants you to be able to talk a little bit more openly. So he had suggested the inn previously.
His track act's so big.
Because he changed his
Change my picture.
he changed his picture, so I've got to fix it probably.
Yes, I had kaiju attack.
Yeah, no kidding.
Attack of the kaiju.
I gotta find your old one and get rid of it, which is in there. That
Oh,
hot mess somewhere.
I already deleted it.
You did it?
From the
There.
map, yeah.
Okay.
So Altharion, I guess he'll turn to Stanamier and go, so to the Blue Water Inn, I guess?
Stanamier will agree and kind of just start heading that way. It's not very far. It's right up the block, essentially. What I do need, though, is I need your nameplate, your HP, because I'm going to lose my mind if I can't find it. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. And that's going to be, hey, visible for players. Save. Can you do things with that gigantic character now? Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm good.
Good. Let me get our next.
I'm a beautiful person.
You're very beautiful. Might have to change some shit around if that is the case. Let's see if I got the right one. I probably didn't because I know me. Oh, he did it right. Well, okay, I feel special now. All right. So, I feel like, whoa, I got smart all of a sudden. As you start to make your way there, Stanamier is kind of mumbling to himself quite a bit, more about the psychopath that Fiona is to him, and that if it weren't for her husband, he would probably never come back to this city. He's more venting than he is actually speaking to you, and it's fairly hard to keep up, but bullet pointed, there is a severe dislike and distrust between the two families. But Stanamier is the only person on this side of the, I guess, region that can assist her in the needs that she has. I believe Babalu is the only one that really put together that he's keeping her husband's not a skeleton.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to kind of poof you guys over, and lighting may be a little funky, so we'll have to work through it for a second. But
It's like magic.
I know.
Oh, here we are.
We'll see if it actually works. Should be more towards like the bottom right of the map. Yes. Sorry, I have Sugar Stream up, so as soon as she saw it, I see light, like a bunch of light on a black screen. It's perfect.
Alright.
Well,
For me, though, it is pitch black.
I found it.
Down to the right.
That's because
Yeah, it's very, very bottom right.
Oh, you're not a
Yeah, scroll down.
you're an elf.
Yeah, I'm in the bottom right-hand corner of the black. I've fully zoomed out and everything. It is pitch black.
That's weird because
Womp
you
womp.
have light.
Yep. Maybe refresh.
Reload, refresh.
Chat,
Let's
hold,
see your
please.
character, too.
Hmm.
Let's see. I mean, if I have to change the light, I will. But Let's see. Gives the ability to see. Yeah, you have a lot of light. Like, what's your problem? What's your issue over there?
You could say being in Australia.
It's because he's in the future. I believe it.
What if I turn the light off and then turn it
Yeah.
back on?
All this already happened for him.
Where'd you go?
He's down in the bottom right corner. There we
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
wait,
no
wait,
longer
wait, what
light
is-
where he is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah,
the light doesn't exist down there.
I got nothing, even after the refresh.
Hmm.
Is pitch black for me.
What if I don't limit?
There we go.
Aha. All right. So for him, for some reason, his limited light doesn't work. I don't know why, but all right, that's cool. That's fine. Everybody else can see though.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Cool. Cool spiel. As you get here, let me find my region because I have cards all over the goddamn place. I lose them in the background now. I know they're there somewhere. That's not it. Here it is, found it. Job's done. Okay. As you start to arrive and you're walking up the pathway to the building, it's a very lively place. There's lots of people kind of roaming around a little bit. There's gray smoke coming out of a very large chimney. It's a 2-story building. The roof is a little sagging, so it's definitely older. But there's several ravens perched at the top of the roof. I'm kind of watching you quite a bit. And there's a painted wooden sign that depicts like a blue waterfall, essentially. Let me just make sure I got everything right here. Okay. So Stanamier kind of stops outside a little bit and he goes, I don't really have any need to go inside, so I'm going to go to the back if you'd like to follow me. But the way that he says it feels almost dangerous in a way. Like, possibly you should not do that. It's really your preference.
Sounds like Rukhar wants to go in.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by that, to be honest. And he just kind of starts. Let me get onto the right freaking page here. He just kind of starts shimmying off to the background a little bit. He passes, as you can see right there, there's a large well, like 3 foot, give or take, moss lined. And it's filled to the very, very tippy top. And as he passes it, he kind of puts his hand in the tip of the water, just at the edge. Puts it in his mouth and keeps walking.
So he dipped his fingers in and put it to his mouth?
Yep. You guys could choose whether you want to follow him to the back of the building or look around yourselves. You're more than welcome. It's an inn. They probably have a bunch of stuff going on around anyway. So I'm leaving that choice up to you.
I mean, yeah, I'll follow. I'll follow Stanamier.
Okay. Beautiful. All right.
So he was cautiously mentioning that we should not be going through the front door?
Not really mentioning, but kind of giving you the choice, but that he doesn't have a reason to. It's really up to you if you want to or not, but maybe you don't want to. Kind of gave you like the you should come with me, but it's really your choice type of ideal.
As I see Drakax approaching the door, I'm gonna sort of like lean in and be like, I think we should go in.
You too, I swear. Chaos brethren. As you get a little closer, you do notice that there's a very large wooden staircase that kind of blends into the front of the building that goes straight up to the second floor with a door at the top, almost above the main entrance. But it blends in really, really well.
Up
That
here?
you wouldn't have noticed it, yeah, from the from where you were at the like edge of the street coming in.
Got it.
Yeah.
So now that we're here, we see it?
Yeah, as you're getting closer to it, you can kind of make it out, and you're like, oh wait, that's actually kind of deeper than I thought it was. It blends in to the stone, and it follows the pathing of the building so well that you weren't really sure that it existed before until you're kind of standing almost at it, and you notice the depth difference.
Okay.
I got a question.
Mhm.
Depending on this answer, I will make my decision.
Depending on this decision,
No
I will make
pressure.
my
Got
answer.
it?
Yeah,
How much wine I have left?
the cup is full.
Is it still full?
It's still full. Yeah,
Just gonna
I mean,
keep
I have
drinking
not
and
told him
walk.
much about that cup yet. Just keep that in mind, guys.
Sounds like
He's
Did
just
you just
kind of
walk
running
in?
with it. Yeah,
I'm just going with it.
yeah
you just go straight in?
He's
No,
going with it.
It's a
said-
No, he went to
never-ending
the
cup.
side,
I went down.
Yeah.
Where-
He went
Where'd you
down.
go?
Follow the.
down by the well,
He's following me.
straight south. He's outside still.
Hmm.
Don't worry. Sooner or later, I will go in and start a bar fight.
Yeah, he's over here.
I'm here for it.
I was ready to go in. So
I'm side by side with Rukhar. Oh, we're in.
we're in.
Okay, you
Just a
two are
reminder.
going in.
Don't yell
Alright.
for help.
Don't yell
I
help.
I mean,
Oh no.
all right, cool. I'm gonna go with the outside brethren first, please. So just you guys hang out there for a second. As you're following Stanamier, he's making his way fairly slowly, kind of seeing who's going to keep up with him and who isn't, but he makes his way all the way to the back of the building. So if you guys just keep going over, you should find it like way out here. And there's a large stable door that has a padlock on it that he happens to have the key for.
Of course it
Just
does.
happens.
Hmm.
And he kind of
Shocker.
looks back and he goes, "You're missing a few." And he goes, "Oh well." And he knocks on the door twice and he unlocks it. And from inside, all you could hear is squawking birds and the whinny of horses. And as he starts to open the doors, you realize how clean it is. It's pristine in there. The dirt floor has been taken care of very well. The hay stacks are very well kept and look very fresh. And in the distance, a little bit, as you guys start to enter, I don't know what you can see and what you can't, but you can start to enter this room a little bit. You see Madame Eva on the other side playing with a very large stallion, kind of just petting his head a little bit, rubbing up against him. They seem all chummy.
We meet again.
And she kind of just looks over and she goes, "Oh, you found them. How lovely. I hope you guys made it okay."
I mean, we did.
The hag didn't last that long.
Oh, well, isn't that unfortunate?
But I expect that you saw that coming.
I can't tell you the answers to things, but I can lead you in the right direction. She kind of has like a smirk on her face, like, "Yes, one down." And as you're hearing these birds still, they're not around you, like you don't see them. But it sounds like there's a lot of them.
So Altharion will pipe up and go, "Stanamier, I thought you didn't know what happened at the encampment, yet Madame Eva's here."
I still don't know what happened at the encampment. And he looks at you and he looks at Eva and he goes, "She won't tell me." And she kind of smirks a little bit and she goes, "He'll find out his path as well."
Altharion's like kind of a bit bewildered, going, "Okay." Now, he'll turn back to Stanamier and go, "You mentioned something in the Worcestershire. Oh, not Worcestershire, that's a bloody sauce.
We're making some sauce, you guys.
wild horse just cheered.
Hold on. You probably said that clearer
Breaking
than
up the
anyone I've
grill.
ever heard in my life.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that so well.
Yeah. Is it an Australian
That
thing?
was,
I was about to say,
I know, but it is
from
now.
Australia? Is that why nobody else can pronounce it?
No. The Fukta house, you said that finding the mage was one of the trials.
Yeah.
Do you care to elaborate?
Well, it's one of the issues, but there's bigger issues immediate that we need to really handle. The mage, and he looks at Madame Eva, and she kind of looks back and smirks a little bit and nods her head. And he looks back and he kind of like takes a deep breath and he goes, "It's not the mage that I'm worried about, it's what he's capable of doing." With the right guidance, he may do well. But if someone like Fiona or Strahd or any of their allies gets to him, maybe a bigger problem than we anticipate. He's already been going crazy. This area of Barovia does not lend to sanity.
nAga clicks his staff 3 times.
I love that. When she hears that, she kind of raises her eyebrow at you and smirks a little bit. And she goes, "He could tell you."
So if there's something more important here than the mage, what is it?
The children. The children of the Vallaki, of the Vistana, they're all disappearing one by one. We don't know where they're going, and we think that it's here. Because typically, the Vistana, my kind, we're not allowed in this town. But I can come in and go because of Fiona, which is why I don't break that bond. And why I have to bite my tongue so she can stay satisfied.
I have a small chuckle. So you want to go against Strahd, but you look away from their little cult.
It's not a cult. I mean, it is. I guess it's a cult. He goes, but I don't care about the vampires. And Madame Eva kind of chuckles a little bit. And Stanamier goes, "I don't care about the vampires. They don't bother me. But I do want our children to be safe so that we can continue to have bloodlines." And she goes, "Well, I care about the vampires. They're a problem." And she looks at Jack and she kind of like eyes each one of you, and she goes, "I know that we're missing some, and I know that you found the other Dragonborn."
Yeah, I believe they decided to go have some fun in the bar. You
Okay.
might hear a little bit of a ruckus in a little bit.
Oh, we will see. However, when you left, we left too. I wasn't going to stay in that camp. We have camps all over Barovia. We move frequently. We took our horses and we left and we passed through. But when we got to the lake, we started losing children. And I don't know if it's what's in the lake, if it's the mage, or if it's just this disgusting town. But I do think that the bigger, more important thing to take care of here is going to be where the children are. How many children did you see when you entered the town? Dozens, I'm sure. Hundreds, maybe. There was so many children. And as the days have passed for me, I'm noticing less and less.
Okay. What information can you tell about this? Like, do you know potentially who might be taking them? Do we have kind of a bearing of where we think they might be? Like, what information can you share with us about potentially dealing with this issue?
Wait a second. Okay. I can tell you that there are 4 main issues in this town. You've got Fiona, you've got the Baron and the Burgomaster. You've got the Mad Mage, and you have the lake. Those are your 4 biggest issues. If the children were taken by any of those 4, we'll probably never see them again. If the children are safe, they're going to be at the church. I cannot go into the church. The church is no friend of mine. But you guys likely can. Why do I get all the good rolls? I couldn't get a shitty roll and tell you now you're wrong. Come on now.
Why can't you go into the church?
The church doesn't really trust me. Visions and all.
Fair.
So what is the plan?
Yeah, I'm just thinking right now in terms of that information. Like, if it's Fiona, it's got to be somewhere in the house, potentially upstairs. Because I didn't venture upstairs, so I don't know what could be up there. If the Baron or the Burgomaster have got anything to do with it, then it's like, this town is huge. Like, there is a lot that we have to cover. Maybe it's something to do with the toy store. Like, that's maybe, considering the Burgomaster pointed that out specifically to us. The lake, I mean, out of character. Nacho, did you share with us what you felt in the lake?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like something that moved past me that was large. I could feel it moving in the water.
Yeah, okay. If it's the lake, and we know what Avery went through and what he felt, there could be something very suspicious in that lake, whether it's a creature, whether it's a gravitational pull in the actual pool itself, that Avery was clearly feeling when he was swimming. Or the Mad Mage, who is missing. Now, if, Madam Evie, you're saying that the church, they've potentially got the children alive, why would they keep them there?
The priest is a smart man. He's not blind to the things that go on in this world. I have a stampede of elephants upstairs, I'm sorry. He'll stop eventually.
We can't hear them for what it's worth.
I see my mic lighting up and I'm like, I know that that's going to come through every once in a while. I'd be like, someone's beating Bird's head in or something like that because they're so loud.
Yeah, no, I don't hear anything. I don't know about anyone else.
Yeah. Num num num.
I read pizza and I'm like,
yeah.
hungry.
So would you say that he's trying to protect the children, or
likely? I
Okay.
do think that the priest is a very kind fellow who does not belong in this world, but unfortunately is stuck just like the rest of us. There they go again. And I think that he would likely have our side of this pending war.
So you think he's a potential ally?
If you can tell him and help him, then 100% I think he would ally. Yes. There would be a very, very slight chance that you could convince him otherwise, but I do believe that naturally, and with the belief that I know of him, he will go to the right side and not to vampires and so on and so forth.
No, we're just having some, we're doing some further RP. We're in a different spot now, Wicked Clown.
nAga's going to blatantly ask. So vampires eat people, right?
Well, they're not cannibals, but they
Well,
drink
yeah.
their blood. Yes.
Okay. Could they be using the kids to do that?
Possible. And she kind of makes like almost like a wince when she says that. She doesn't like the idea any more than anyone else would. However, Stanamier kind of has one of those I'm gonna say something but I'm thinking about it looks on his face, and she kind of cuts him off before he even gets to speak, and she almost just puts her hand up in front of his face quite a bit to cover his mouth. She goes, it's not for us to make a decision on what is morally right or wrong for the vampires. We hope that's not the case, but if it is, there's no purer blood in the world than an innocent child's. And Stanamier kind of looks and rolls his eyes. She goes, none of our kids are innocent. That's not true. And she just kind of chuckles, and she goes, you might not be wrong, but they've only had a certain amount of this water to deal with. We've had a lot more.
So what you're saying is the vampires want to have, if they were abducting these young children, is that they're doing it because they've had a lot less of the tainted water than what the adults have, so their blood isn't tainted by it.
Yes, smart boy, very smart boy.
See,
So
every moment that passes, I'm more and more very, very glad that I drank the water.
Is it holy water? Did anybody check to see if it's holy water?
Nobody checked
Just
anything.
hear me out. Hear me out. What if it's holy water?
I mean, I think that you cast Detect Good or Evil, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought you did too.
Not on it.
Not on the water, no.
I did detect poison and disease.
Right.
Okay.
And it's definitely not one of those.
I'm still drinking my wine on the corner.
Yeah. He's
Also,
happily
I mean-
drinking his holy water wine, apparently.
It ain't holy water.
It's holy water. I'm telling you right now.
Well, I will also mention that, for what it's worth, I don't know if holy water actually detects as anything in D&D. I think you need to
Can I
actually
not,
just...
as a paladin, be able to be like, smells like God? Like, I can't. I can
Smells
do.
like God.
Does water smell like God? I don't know if that's a thing or not.
What
to
does
be
God
fair.
smell like? Like,
I mean,
Like that water, let me tell you.
Good. Dang.
I mean,
I can't sit there like twirl my peaky and I'm like, ah, yes, the tears of Jesus.
Oh Lord.
Wow.
oh my God.
This is a serious question, Bird.
I honestly don't think so. But I mean, I do think that it would have
The
more
angel lady
adverse
is like, I've
effects.
smelled that before.
Yeah, right. I do think that it would have, if that were the case, that it would have more adverse effects on those of more evil stances, and it's not seeming to go that way. By your judgment and perception of things that have been going on for the past week or whatever. Is devil's blood hilarious? Hilarious. No one has asked me what that wine fully is yet, and I ain't gonna tell you. Just Saying. Or that cup.
Elf pudding.
You as a
I believe it. It's elf pudding.
Evanora can detect good, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you've
do
got.
believe
Yeah,
that's-
you've
that's
cast
part of
detect
the-
good and evil before.
Yeah.
Or protect from good and evil. Sorry.
Oh, that's true. You're a paladin.
We'll
You probably have
eventually find
detect
someone to
evil.
cast identify on this cup.
I mean, maybe. It's
Hmm.
defective. Hawkser, it is not defective. It was working right. Shoosh.
Damn it,
The
Hoxer.
water is working perfectly. Exactly how I planned it.
Okay.
It's
And
holy
it
water.
doesn't matter. Naga drinks more of it right now.
Beautiful.
So, if the water is a pain point for the vampires, and they're trying to go after the children, and the Baron and the Burgomaster want the children to be at attendance at the new festival,
Well,
and
if you remember the notices, everyone is expected to be there. You cannot miss it if you live in this region.
yeah,
By rule of the Baron.
yeah, but there was a specific mention of the children specifically on it.
Correct.
So if they're specifically mentioning the children on
Uh-huh.
the notices, and we found out that do we know that they're being done weekly, or was that a part of the
It's a little bit of both. You kind of put it
Okay.
together as you were when you were in the center of town and you were by the stocks and you were reading the first notice that was taken down and the next notice was put up. The dates are almost a week apart.
Okay, cool. I
So
just
you were
yeah.
able to kind of put that together, but this just confirmed it essentially.
Okay, cool. So if they're being done weekly, and then when would you say that you notice the decline in the number of children around the settlement, Madam Eva? Like, would you say it's potentially on a weekly basis? Like, after the festivals? Or would you say it's more of a daily occurrence or random?
I don't know. I haven't been here long enough. There's something here that makes it so I can only see things I've already known. And I've only been here for a little over 24 hours. I was not at the first festival that we would have seen, and I will likely stay until the next one, because I'm very curious what might happen at it.
Okay. And that's about a week away.
Currently, 4 days.
4 days, okay.
Mhm.
Currently 4 days away. Okay.
You guys are making me drool over this pizza talk. I'm just saying.
Making me hungry too.
I know. Jeez.
Hold on, I'm linking it if anyone wants to order it.
Ah, you.
Oh my god.
Hold, please.
Do they ship internationally?
I don't think they have those things in Canadian land.
Do you have Domino's in Australia?
Yes, we do.
Then
Oh,
yeah.
there you go.
Okay.
I mean, they might have different things there, though. Just saying. Regional.
They probably
True.
do, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that the Mad Mage is one of the potential trials, but the children is the bigger problem here.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm gonna turn to the rest of the party and I go, from what Fiona told us, I think it was Fiona, I could be wrong, it could have been Isaac, about the Baron, that he only arrives closer to twilight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I mean, I'm sure we're all thinking it, and Madam Eva or Stanamier, you might be able to potentially confirm this. Is the Baron a vampire?
Stanamier kind of furrows his eyebrow a bit and looks down at the floor and shuffles his feet. And Madame Eva kind of chuckles a little bit. And she looks like she's thinking really hard. She goes, you know, I don't actually know. Could be. Very well could be. And Stanamier just like shuffles his feet a little bit more, and he's
just nervously
clearly
doing
avoiding conversation. Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to have this conversation.
Well, it's not a no from him.
Right, it's not a no, and it's not a definite yes either from Madame Eva.
Okay. So it's question markable. Right.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
don't like it.
Well, I'm of the opinion we need to come up with a course of action with the information we've got at hand. Madam Eva, you said that the priest is a potential ally for our end goal.
And she nods and she continues petting this gigantic horse. And she kind of just reaches down and picks up a couple of apples. And she's like half paying attention to you at this point. And this horse just mashes into her hands. And she kind of like giggles about it. She makes her very happy. Like, I don't think that she's... If you were to judge her by this cover, she's never leaving this spot.
Okay.
But this is not a horse that looks like one of the ones that you saw them have when you were at their camp.
Does it look like one of the dread steeds?
No, it's more whimsical than that.
Okay.
It's like a gray-white color with a black mane, but its tail, from what you see as it flickers as it's eating and enjoying life, it has almost ribbons braided into it of different colors.
Right. So Altharion will turn to the rest of the party and go, look, we've got the most information about the priest in the church. I reckon if he's trying to protect the children, he may have a bit of a better idea about what is actually going on. I suggest we pursue this lead and we see what further information we can gather. Obviously, we already know about the Mad Mage and that he's a potential ally to our cause as well. So I would say that the Mad Mage is probably the second priority if we're able to find out what's going on with the children first and then help with that issue, and then we deal with the mage and try and find the mage. We do have to be aware of those dire wolves that Strahd is sending out that patrol outside of the city, however. So
Yes.
we're going to have to, when we start looking for the mage and we want to go out, we need to go out at the crack of dawn, in inverted commas.
And she kind of nods as she's listening along to this story, and she's she just mumbles a little bit. If you want to get there faster, take the boats. Go straight across the lake. And she's petting and she's still feeding this horse. But she kind of drifts off there. And that's the last thing she'll say.
All right.
Stanamier kind of steps up closer to her and just like pets the horse gently, but he's not like in love with this horse the way she seems to be. It's like, it's all right, you're okay. As long as you don't bite me, we're friends.
Yeah.
And he looks at you guys and he goes, this building, this specific building is going to be a safe haven for you guys, I think. There's no one that is allowed to come into this inn with bad intentions. There's actually a hex essentially on the building itself. So you come in, and even if you have bad intentions, you leave them at the door. this building is one of the safest, and it's the place that people come and they go through when they pass through this specific town. You'll be safe here to sleep if you need to eat. And Danica is a dream of a sweetheart.
I'm guessing she's the owner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll turn to everyone else and go, do you guys like the sound of that game plan in terms of like going to the church and finding out what's going on and try and gather more information first?
Evanora will nod in agreement.
As everything starts to get quiet and everyone's kind of contemplating exactly what they're going to do or if they have other plans, the squawking gets much louder again.
Okay. Well, let's go find the others, and then we can go from there. And I'll go, Stanamier, thank you. Madam Eva, thank you. I'm going to... Well, hopefully everyone else will follow, but I'm going to go find out where the rest of our party are and discuss further our next steps forward. I think I've got solid information that for what we can do. But those ravens squawking is unsettling to me.
A little bit.
So we'll take our leave, and we will see you again soon. And Altharion will step outside. And as he does, can Altharion actually see the ravens at the top of the roof?
If you're outside?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. But I can still hear them, right?
Yes, you can definitely hear them.
Alright. I'll just shake my head and go, that's weird. That's really weird to me about those ravens. Really unsettling.
I hate the way they set this up. All right, cool. You're free to go where you would like, but I'm gonna snap back over to Rukhar and Rogar. My double R's.
That's some interesting information,
You're
chat.
welcome.
This is going to be good to see how this
Double
pans
Rs,
out
that's it.
now.
What would you guys like to do, or what were you doing as this was going on in the back of the building?
Okay, so just kind of Rukhar and Rogar had a little bit of a discussion. Not much of one, but we've had a little bit of a discussion. So, but it's whispered and it's still only the two of us, so nobody else really
Okay.
knows what went on there.
You got it.
All right, so upon entering, what do we see?
All right. So you guys have fully entered the building, correct?
Yeah, I'd say we walked in and kind of stopped right at the
doorway.
threshold when we walked in the door. Yep.
Beautiful. All right. So as you guys start to enter, directly in front of you in this small, almost foyer, there's a bunch of damp cloaks hanging, of varying degrees, but all of them lightly damp. You can almost smell the must in them. The tavern is packed with chairs, almost barely any walking room when you first look inside.
Sorry, chat. Had to ban a bot account.
The bar stretches all along the far wall. There's several large tables, one packed with people in the far corner, and behind them is a staircase that goes to the second floor. And ahead of you is a gentleman talking at the bar with what seems to be whether a barmaid or something, but they're having a very deep conversation. The entire bar is lit with lanterns, so it's fairly intimate. It's pretty dark, but not impossible to see. And each of the windows is fitted with like thick shutters and crossbars, and they're all closed.
All right. Do the patrons notice us? Or anything going on there?
They're deep in conversation. Only one really kind of glances up at you, gives a little nod, and goes right back to this conversation. And it's quite low. It's almost a muttering. You can't really make out what they're talking about from being far away.
Oh. So Rukhar is going to pause for a second, take it all in, and then he's going to walk directly up to the bar and politely interrupt the conversation going on.
Okay.
And just say, "Excuse me, ma'am, I'd like to buy a round for the house."
They both look at you, and she kind of just smiles and nods, and that catches the attention of a few of the gentlemen in the back far corner. And the man standing next to you, who's dressed in rather bright clothing, very colorful, kind of just looks at you and he nods his head. To plainly and Rukhar go the same sentence. Here they do, apparently. And he looks at you and he goes, "Are you new around here?"
Am I new or am I new around here?
Around here.
Just got in about 2 weeks ago.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. It's a splendid area. The children are lovely.
Yeah, I'm getting that impression.
He goes back to picking up his very large mug and taking a nice big sip of it as the barmaid that turns around and starts grabbing a bunch of beers. She gives you one, and she kind of slides one towards Rukhar in the back, and she taps the table, the bar top with one of the cups and leaves out the rest of them right at the edge of the counter. And one of the gentlemen in the corner I'm not on the right screen here. Gets up, takes them, and goes back. No words, no nothing. Hands them out to everybody, and they continue their conversation. And she comes back and she thanks you, and she goes, "You must be new around here. I've never seen your face before." She has a sing-song voice. She's very pleasant.
Rukhar will ask her, "All right, lass, how much do I owe you?"
And she looks around and she kind of gives a little head count. And she goes, 4 gold will cover it. You're just showing the stream. Smart ass. Delete that character. No kidding.
Okay. All right, so then I guess I'll thank her. I know that this is like throwing some people, but I'm gonna thank her and then move down to this big table down here.
Okay. Perfect.
Alrighty, chat. Hope you guys are enjoying this session. It's great fun. I'm loving this RP aspect, and I thought it was going to be combat filled.
Nice.
Not so much.
Not nice.
Okay. You need better rolls.
I mean,
Oofed.
obviously it was with advantage.
I mean. So as you're sitting there, you muster up some generic conversation to have. Nothing too much to get deep into. You're more listening for other pieces of conversations. And you learn from sitting here that the bartender that you're listening to, the man in front of her keeps calling her Danny. And she keeps calling him Rick. And they're having what seems like they've known each other for centuries types of conversations. I've heard dwarves talk before. Oh my God. Just saying.
The Scottish accent. Hey, talking like a Scotsman, eh?
I love it so much. They're kind of just chatting about the upcoming festival, and
sorry,
talking
Gavin,
a
Steve
little
couldn't
bit
help it.
about, making extra food, and she doesn't understand for who, because he travels alone. She knows this very well, and this conversation goes back and forth quite a bit. But you guys kind of redirect, and you're trying to listen in mainly to the back corner of the room. I have these hiccups that will go away. The most that you can get out of it are some names. You do hear Nikolai and Carl. And you do also hear what else do you hear? They're talking about the crazy man on the lake. No one will say his name, but you know it because you've heard it before. But they keep referring back to him. You hear a little bit from the far gentleman, the one sitting way back here. And he's looking over and he's kind of in like a deep, husky whisper talking about the man on the lake feeding the monsters the children.
nAga was right.
That's about all you can hear from those rolls.
Delicious.
They're underwater vampires.
Is that a thing? I mean,
It is now, apparently.
Mer vampires are a thing.
1 second, canon. We're making it canon. I'm making notes. Give me a second. Underwater vampires. I'm gonna look this up because I bet there's something.
My chat's saying it is.
Yeah.
What, mermaids?
I mean, yes.
Yeah,
but
it's
they're
like
not...
vampire mermaids. Yeah,
Yeah, but
that sounds
that's-
terrifying.
But no.
They'd be vampire merfolk.
No.
No, that doesn't sound
I
terrifying.
mean, I
Imagine a
think that's terrifying.
siren vampire. How about that?
I know, but
Oh.
sirens
That's way
just,
worse.
you in general, they don't give a shit about your blood. They just want to do the eating.
They want to do the eating. They want to num 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 num.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what a siren does.
Okay,
They draw you in, and well, I don't know. I gotta
And then
think
leave
about
you
it.
in shambles.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Somebody
we're back
else
here.
I know.
We're back.
I knew it. Knew it was coming. I knew it.
Anyways, moving on.
Anywho, all right. What would you guys like to do, and what are the gentlemen's and the ladies in the back doing? You guys gonna make your way this way?
I've done
Yeah,
about
probably.
all I'm gonna do in a bar besides drink, so
I mean, fair.
So did Rogar hear that,
Ah,
that statement
nice.
about
The layer.
the
Cool.
man in the lake feeding children to
Yes.
the monster?
Yeah, that was for both of you. Those were your kind of combined perceptions. So you actually
So
got a little bit more than you would have in that situation, only because I kind of balanced it out a bit.
Got it.
Yeah.
Then that situation, I think Rogar would look at Rukhar and be like, Did you hear what I just heard? He's feeding children to lake monsters.
I would confirm that and just kind of, yep.
I mean, that's not right. I feel like we maybe should go talk to them and get some more information.
I'll look at him and be like, just kind of give him a heavy sigh, and then nod my head.
In agreement, or
Yes, sorry.
so Rukhar is gonna stand up and Rukhar is gonna make his way probably through the bar, and he's gonna like come up. It was the guy in the center that we heard say that.
Yeah, in the back center. Yeah.
So he's probably gonna go up right about here, and just sort of look towards the group and be like, "Excuse me, sir, did I hear that correctly? Not that I was eavesdropping, but I can't help but think that I overheard you say that the man out in the lake is feeding children to the lake monsters or something."
And he looks up at you, and just for a brief moment, you get a good look at him. You can tell that this specific man has been through some shit. He's grim. He almost looks. He looks like he's had some struggle recent. And he kind of just nods. Takes a nice big gulp of his drink.
I think the nod is about
And
that
Kind of just
saying.
points at
Okay,
the
but
chair
Steve.
that's at the end of the table. And he goes, "You can sit and listen if you'd like."
Listen.
Yeah. He's definitely of that variety, yeah.
Rukhar will basically just say, "Thank you very much for your kindness. I'd love to join you and your party." And he would come up and sit down in the chair.
Beautiful.
Boy, Rukhar will just join any party.
Any party. Yeah, Rukhar's all about it.
I was thinking that, like, wow, okay, he moves on quick.
All right.
Rukhar's
my work here is done. I sneak out. You leave.
Rukhar said he was joining me in this, so I mean,
Oh no,
I'm assuming
I
he
didn't
was
say
there.
I was joining you. I just
oh,
Nodded
nodded
head.
he
my
just
head.
wanted me to go. Got it.
Agreed that you should definitely do the thing.
Yeah.
That I should do the thing with no backup. Got it.
1000%. So,
Oh, I've got. I'm
I
back
mean-
up. I'm way back up.
Yeah. I was gonna say Rukhar's like the opposite. He's like, I don't want to join any party.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
He's
Right,
happy in
guys.
his lonesome over there.
Rukhar's like
I mean,
hot
I'm not
rod. He
joining
likes
their
to party.
party. I'm just like gaining some information here.
You said you'd love to join their party.
Well, I
Like
mean, at the
verbatim, that's what you
table.
said.
At the table. My bad. You're right. That is what I said, but I meant at the table. You know, get some intel.
Yeah, that's
Befriend
how
them.
it starts. That's how it starts.
But
So you
that's
get
like,
worded.
sure.
Rukhar is gonna move up here and
Okay.
try and chat these guys up a little bit. Just kind of table talk while listening to the other table.
Nice.
By the way, kind of tangent here, but like you're talking about how this guy looks like he's seen some shit. Well, Stanamier, every time you bring his token around, it looks like he's sleepwalking. I
Right?
was like, this dude is perpetually asleep.
I wish I had a slightly better token of him. But
I think he's literally
kind of
snoring.
looks like he's just permanently stuck on like an LSD trip.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm like, I feel you deep in my soul. I know how you feel, but I don't know if I'm comfortable with this anymore.
Wait, hold on. Where's
Or
the
he's
token?
just
Hold on a
super
second.
Right
Sugar's
inside
dead.
the door.
Sugar's
Yeah,
dead.
right inside the
Gotta
door.
go take another look.
Yeah, like seriously,
Yeah.
that's what he's gone.
Like every
can't unsee
time-
that.
I love
Every
it.
time she's been moving the token around, I'm like, yeah, he's just like sleepwalking around to each point.
Yeah.
in the
Oh
story.
gosh.
Like,
I mean, it
Stanamier
goes
went
really
on
well
tour
with
and never
his-
came back.
Yeah, exactly.
going on
The image goes really, really well with the original story that came with that character, but I didn't use it. But there's no other there's no secondary token, so we're just stuck with him for now. I'll find one eventually. Well, it depends, but maybe. We'll
So all
see.
I'm hearing is that this is all just Stanamier's super crazy LSD trip that we're taking part of.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're all
1,000
his
Actually,
special
Curse of
friends.
Strahd, you guys, you heard it here.
Yeah.
He is Strahd. As soon as he sobers up, we're all doomed. We're
I
screwed.
mean, you would never know, to be fair.
Dun, dun, dun.
We would never. That is very
You
true.
would never know, yeah.
All right.
The perfect murder.
I need to roll on that conversation that you're about to have.
Oh God, no.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good thing, right?
All right.
Not always.
Well, so the two of you come to learn some of these names, and you find out that the two at the south of the table is Nikolai and Carl. They are both Fiona's sons.
Okay.
They are here generally every single day at about the same time. All I saw was bird scares me, and I'm not going to look at what the rest of that context is in Sugar's chat because I'm not going to do it to myself. And you find that there's most of the other people at the table are just commoners. They're just here to have a nice drink at the end of the day, type of thing. But the two, the one in the top center and the one to the right of him, are hunters in the region. Zolger is the one on the left, and Jenny is the one on the right. And they do local hunting. They kill wolves, and they bring the meat here to sell. So that's basically their survival. They don't typically worry or work around the lake because of Bluto, or as they like to call him, the crazy man on the lake, who you guys all witnessed a little bit earlier. You've learned his name. You know exactly who they're talking about. They're convinced that he's feeding the children one by one to this lake monster that no one has ever seen before, because the mirror-like lake is very difficult to see through, so no one's actually seen it, or them, or however many there might be. Except for Bluto, who sits out there every day hoping to catch something, or so they think. I'm just making sure there's nothing else I actually want to share with you.
Fair at all.
Cute, very cute. The only thing of significance about the two of them is the one on the left wears a wolf fur coat that looks like it's stacked with pelts. Could possibly be everyone he's ever caught. He takes a piece and stacks it. Or that he's just still carrying it. You're not quite sure, just by sitting and listening to them and such. The gentleman on the right, though, has what looks like a cut on his eyebrow, and they're layered from almost the center of his eye straight out towards his ear on both sides. A total of 15.
That's this individual over here?
No, that's to the other side, to the right of him.
Oh, this guy. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought he was the wolf belt. Got it. Okay, cool.
Mm-mm. Yeah, Jenny is the eyebrow, and
Got it.
Soljar is the wolf pelt.
Wolf belt. Okay. 15 cuts over their eye.
Yeah. Are we fighting about Pluto versus Bluto? Is that what we're doing here?
No.
Oh, okay.
Don't read chat right now. Everything's fine.
All right, I'm gonna let you have your Pluto. It's all right. It's definitely Bluto.
His name's
but...
Pluto. You heard it here.
Okay, all right, there you go. It's canon now. Pluto.
Well, now he's from Mickey, so
Yeah.
there we go.
So yeah, that's what you guys learn, what they're trying to track and figure out. The gentleman in the far corner. Yep, that one. Thank you. It doesn't say very much, but eyes you up rather well, rather thoroughly. Doesn't say really anything. He kind of mumbles along.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we see anything else here, or?
Not yet. No, we're gonna leave that there for now. Who else is making their way into the inn?
Me.
Beautiful.
nAga would, but on his way there, he's going to taste the well water too.
Beautiful. Tastes just like the other water. You feel nice and good.
I'm about
Yeah.
the little barn.
Where are you?
On my way out, I'm just gonna tell Eva, I'm like, look forward to the next one, fall.
And she kind of looks at you and she nods with a smile. She's like, it won't be very long.
Gonna lie, I feel a lot better that the rest of the party's showing up.
Well, remember, no bad intentions in here, right?
No, not at all.
Well, we know that, but Rukhar and Rukhar don't as of yet.
Look at all of you with the wrong colored health bars.
Oh my gosh.
We don't have to know about it.
I'm gonna
out there
change his
for it
to
be
like,
affecting us.
yeah, I'm gonna change his to like purple at some point.
No, don't do that.
Randomly
Just-
rainbowify his.
No.
I do it. Absolutely.
Radiant.
I'll be upsetty spaghetti.
Upsetty spaghetti.
You know what? I'll take it. So, as the rest of you start to funnel in, the lovely woman behind the bar gets excited. She is clearly not used to having newcomers around. And she steps aside a little bit, I'm going to say this way, and kind of like welcomes everybody in like a frantic, holy crap, there's people here. Like I said before, she has a very sing-song, pretty voice. She's very sweet to talk to. She's not, by the sound of her, she's the farthest from anything you've met in this region. Very similar to Damia from the very beginning, where she was just welcoming and kind of like, let me show you a trick. And she kind of hops almost onto the bar and she's like, can I get anybody anything? Welcome, welcome, welcome. In the fastest but excited and happy voice you could imagine.
Hearing that question, I was like, that
Too much energy for me.
And I'm like, can I get the biggest plate of meat that you got?
Absolutely. And she'll kind of look through everybody else. Just any other callers?
Yeah, I won't mind a meal myself.
Okay, so we got meat, we got meal.
Rukhar wants a meat stick.
Meat stick, delish. All the meat sticks you
Oh
want.
God.
4 of them, to be exact.
Y'all are savage.
Let's choked on my wine.
And a handful of nuts.
No. Protein balls.
Oh. Dead.
1 second.
Oh boy.
Carric is still wondering if anybody's got cloves of garlic.
Should ask the bartender.
Yeah, okay.
Good question.
What are we asking the bartender?
If there's cloves with garlic.
No.
That's not sketchy at all.
Wooden stakes?
That's actually a really good theory game on Steve.
Maybe.
It's a witch.
What if
I guess
What
she's a
if
bartender.
Crazy Old Man
I
is
know,
actually
yeah,
a
we should
wizard
definitely have
who
some
is secretly
stakes.
sending all the kids of Barovia through a portal in lake to
Raw
safety?
Or, you know, how
No
would
one
you like
else
this?
knows because he does it in
Of the
secret, so Strat
kangaroo
doesn't catch
variety.
him.
The kangaroo.
Yeah?
Right, yep.
Yeah,
So,
fair. That's really
she
good.
disappears into the back and you hear her kind of bantering a little bit and just starting to shout some orders. There's a little bit of a commotion. It sounds like a few people are scurrying around, a little unaffected, but not really prepared for this.
Yeah, they just got
So
invaded by an army.
By an army of people, right? So she
Nine.
comes back out a little bit flush, and she's like, "It'll just be a few minutes." And she kind of glances where everybody is at the moment. She doesn't take note of like any specific person that you can tell, but she knows exactly where all of you are. At this point,
Trying to keep from staring at the dwarf for too long.
yeah. At this point, a few of the other people kind of look around, and they're starting to notice a lot of people come into the building. So a few of them get up and leave.
A lot of them.
A few.
They reach the maximum occupancy. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta stay
That
water
1.4,
code.
that one
Alright.
person per 4 square meter rule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Social distancing, guys. Come on now.
Mhm. 6 feet
What are you
apart.
trying to get? I have children. 1 second.
Full eagle.
Can you tell your Rugrats to knock it off? We have D&D tonight, so like,
Can they not?
can they get the program, please? Mom's busy.
So Altharion's actually seen the seat in the corner, and he's gonna actually mosey up to
Oh
it,
my gosh.
sit into the corner. How light is the room?
Dim. It's
Dim.
a very dim light. Yeah.
Is there a candle on the table in front of me?
Yes. There's a candle at every table. A small one, albeit.
He's gonna lick his fingers, put it out, throw his hood over his face.
Going to sleep.
No. You, once I tell you the next thing that he's about to do,
Mhm.
pulls out a pipe, lights it, and starts smoking with only the light of what's in the pipe lighting his face.
I love it.
Nice.
plagiarism.
I've seen this somewhere before.
I knew some of you. Come on, it wouldn't be a session with without an arrogantism.
You are
That's very
absolutely
true.
correct. Yeah, absolutely correct.
Bird, what was this individual's
I
name
knew
again?
That was gonna happen
Which one?
before he walked in the bar.
That one is never gonna Zoljar. Zoljar, yeah.
Zoldar's the center guy?
Yeah, is the center one, and the one next to him is Jenny.
Balithal literally just made me
okay.
spit the water out of my mouth.
So I think Rogar's going
Damn it,
to
Balithal.
look at
I
look at
think I'm hilarious.
Zoltar
Oh my god.
and be can't focus. And just basically be like, why'd everybody leave when my friends came in?
And he kind of looks around and goes, I didn't even notice they came in. It's not Zoltan. Oh my gosh. Changing all the things
Did you
today.
just acknowledge that we know these people? Man.
And Jenny kind of looks over to you and he hasn't really spoken very much. But he leans in and he goes, as they always leave.
Hey Chief, how you doing? Welcome in, welcome in.
It's fine. Don't even overthink it. And you can tell that they've both had quite a bit to drink.
Okay.
They're kind of stuttering through their words a bit. You also notice a little like glint in their eyes. They're almost haunted. Not them themselves, but just the things that they've seen drive them to sit here for the majority of the day.
Okay.
They look exhausted. Like absolutely exhausted.
Rogar's going to try to ask a little bit more about the was it Bluto? So many names stuck in my head right now.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. So he's gonna look to Zoljar and dive in a little deeper and just be like, so you mentioned that Bluto is taking children and feeding them to the lake. Like how is he obtaining these children, and how have the parents not tried to stop him?
They both kind of look at each other and look at you and like, you haven't been here long enough to understand. Parents don't particularly care here. For some reason, they feel that the walls around this city make them safe from everything else.
So they just turn a blind eye when their children are taken?
Well, if you fight anything against the Baron, then you're probably gonna get in trouble.
So is the Baron the one who's providing these children to Bluto? Are they aligned?
They both kind of just like shrug their shoulders, like your guess is as good as mine.
Rogar's just gonna be like, that's odd to me that children could go missing and nobody seems to care.
You'd think. And at that point, you actually hear the kitchen door open, and two children, probably about 7
40?
and 9, come running out, and they're running laps around the tables, the circle tables, around you guys. They don't care. They're smaller, so they're kind of like under the table. They're under your feet. They bump into you a couple of times. And at that point, Zoljar just kind of chuckles and kind of plays along with them. The woman behind the bar, nAga that you met earlier, comes over and she kind of shuffles the children a little bit to the other side of the room and apologizes. I'm so sorry. Sometimes it's hard to keep them locked up in the kitchen all day. I hope you don't mind.
Rogar will just be like, not at all. It's a pleasure to see them around.
Jenny, at that point, kind of starts to get a little childish himself and gets up and starts chasing with them. Zoljar looks at nAga and goes, do you mind if we take them outside to play? Let them run around a little bit. We'll keep an eye on them. And she does. She allows the two of them to take the children outside to play. I lost the other one. He's under something. There he is.
Well, now I'm all alone at the table.
You are all alone.
Wow.
She kind of nods at you a little bit and she goes, they're family friends. I'm sure you'll understand. And she goes back behind the bar.
Rogar's, I guess, gonna stand up and he's just gonna come and join Rukhar down here.
Along with almost everybody else in your party. Actually, everybody else in your party.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're all chilling in the corner. You're just stacked up on top of each
We're
other.
just watching them is what's happening.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know why people are leaving when you guys just like walked in and just started leering at everybody.
No, I can't.
I mean,
imagine.
technically, Rukhar bought the entire bar around first.
That is very true.
Oh, that guy's leaving.
Maybe they had their fill. Who knows?
What would you guys like to do and or talk about? At this point, nAga comes back and she gives everybody plates of meat and potatoes, and there's carrots. Everybody just gets beer. There's everything just set up at this long table that you seem to have cozied up to. And you can all have a nice little feast.
I'm just enjoying my wine and my meat.
Beautiful.
Looking at everyone else that's supposed to be in the party.
So I guess now that we're all here, I guess Altharion will want to fill in Rukhar and Rogar about what he discussed with Madame Eva and Stanamier. And he'll start off by saying, so he'll kind of beckon them over to him, not to retell everything to everyone else, because everyone else was actually there. And we go, all right, so Stanamier has Madame Eva here. Now, we spoke with them. We asked about the mage that the Burgomaster told us about. And he's not... It's not necessarily that he's insane that's the thing. It's that what he's capable of doing is why... And of course, being in this bar, Altharion's being a little bit more harsh. I'm just talking my normal voice, but he's kind of like whispering. He's kind of beckoning them over, so as to not have prying ears here. And so he'll say, so means that it can help us with what we're wanting to do. However, Madame Eva told us that there's a bigger problem, and that the children are disappearing one by one. She believes that there are 4 potential sources from this. One of them is Fiona. The second is the Baron and the Burgomaster. The third is the lake. And the fourth is the mage. She did also mention a fifth, which is the church, but in a positive light. The priest there may be trying to hide the children so that they're not being taken. And her knowledge and understanding of his character, he is very likely to align with us in what we're wanting to do as well. If we wanted to go after the mage, which I think I said with the rest of the party, that's probably our second priority here. We could use the boats to get across the lake. And to let you in on something about the inn, I'm not sure if you're both aware, but have you forgotten any ill intentions when you walked in the door? Perchance?
Sorry, say that again. Forgotten any ill intentions?
I'm not even sure how we would even realize that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, there is a hex on the inn. It is one of the safest places for people traveling through the city, because no one here can have bad intentions inside. It is all left at the door.
Interesting.
So, take for example...
That explains a little bit.
If you were, I don't know, wanting to cause a bar fight, then it wouldn't happen here.
I mean, to be fair, Rukhar talked Rogar out of that earlier. Like, as soon as we walked in, it's funny that it ended up coming out that way.
So there you
Definitely did not want to start anything.
go. I'm not
thirsty.
Anyway.
Oh, go ahead. Are you?
No, that's me. And I'm like, I saw you, Rogar. You were talking with some people over at that table as we were entering. Did you have any information you'd like to share?
Yeah, so the individual over there that I had met, his name was Zoljar and Jenny, the 2 individuals that you saw left at the end before everybody else left. Zoljar had mentioned that Bluto, the man on the lake that we saw, remember how we saw those bags, or those of you who were with me in the boat anyways, we saw you had like some bags that were moving in that boat. I heard from across the bar here that from Zoljar that Bluto was feeding children to the monster of the lake, is what I'm pretty sure I could hear. So I approached him and he confirmed that that was indeed True, and invited me to sit at his table to listen in a little bit more about the town and the goings on around here. So I tried to ask a little bit more about how he obtains these children, and apparently the parents don't care, and it's just normal around here and everything like that. So I definitely see how that links in with the children going missing and the information that you got from Madame Eva as well.
Okay. Am I able to recall how... Oh, no. I didn't actually see the size of the boats. So I don't actually know how big they are because I was on the other side. That's right.
We could offer that information, I think.
How big
So
were the
we were in
boats?
one?
Yeah. How big were the boats? Because if he's feeding the children to this monster in the lake, it lines up with what Avery has told us, that something brushed past him in the lake. So that lines up. But if he's feeding the children, you know, if he's taking children that are running around off the street, right, then he's gonna need a big boat, like, to fit them all in, or a big sack or something. Like, they don't just fit in neatly into a very small space.
Bag of holding.
Rukhar, yeah, Rukhar will tell Altharion, you know, with myself, 1 second, trying to Evanora and nAga on the boat. I would say we couldn't put any more than the 3 of us. Had I not been there, I would say the boats could hold about 4 normal sized people, I would say, for human individuals. But with the 3 of us, it was we were probably right at its maximum there. So I'd say that's about the size of the boats that we encountered anyways on the shoreline.
Yeah, okay. Bird, would I know that bags of holding exist?
Yeah.
Okay.
You also know they're quite expensive, but if you came across one, they would be super valuable. You also
They're-
know of other varieties of them as well.
Yeah.
They're,
And
I believe,
pattern.
uncommon magic items, so they're general populace knowledge.
I thought there was also some repercussions for putting living things in a bag of holding.
There's only like 3 hours worth of oxygen in it.
Yeah, they will die.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
Good to know.
for exactly this sort of reason.
It's a great thing to know.
You can't just sneak your whole party in with a bag of holding.
But why not? That sounds
I mean,
ridiculous.
You can for 3 hours.
Well, it's 3 hours.
No, it's
Well,
all
3
chips, it's all
hours
good.
total.
We'll be getting into some
Oh,
40k
and then
hobbying in
divided
about
by how
half
many
hour or
people.
so.
Got it.
So if you have a
Exactly.
6-person party, that's really
It's sort of like if you
what, half an
shared
hour?
a scuba tank with everyone. It's not gonna work out.
Got it. Okay.
And that's with everyone being calm and not doing anything.
No
Yeah. And
panicking.
if you put a bag of holding in a bag of holding, you got other fun things.
Mhm.
The actual where you put one in another one, that was only in 4th edition. It's no longer a thing.
Aw.
Alright.
It no longer makes a hole to the astral plane.
What?
That's awesome.
Yeah, you used to literally like tear a fabric in reality from doing so.
Yeah, that
Oh.
it is no longer that way. Sadly, it just fails to work. Like it just destroys both the items.
Right.
We're forgetting one thing. Bird makes the rules.
Make a lot of rules.
Oh, in which
There's a
case
lot
we're
of
trying it at some
things-
point.
A lot of things that you guys are not totally aware of will be existing.
Then I
But you
come
know
up with
there's
the gnarly
other
shit.
varieties of things.
Bird's gonna kill us all with a bag of holding.
I believe it, honestly.
No.
I 100% believe that.
No.
Anyway,
We're all gonna get abducted by the bag man.
I mean, you've already
Oh,
been
don't speak
abducted
that
by
evil into
vampire.
existence.
So
So, okay. And Altharion will just ponder for a second, take a huff of his pipe, and just go, there's only one way that he'd be able to fit multiple children in that boat outside of actually tying them and having them present. And he would be limited by the amount of children that he would be able to do this, but he could do it with a bag of holding.
Or it could take multiple trips.
Like, that's the only other foreseeable way that he can do it. Alright, this is... That's good information. That's good to know. So, to let you guys know of what we kind of agreed is the next game plan. We haven't... Everyone's still kind of mulling it over as well, so I don't feel as though this is kind of like set in stone, but this is kind of like penciled in as what we're thinking of doing. Is that we're thinking of going and seeing the priest at the church and finding out what's going on their end and asking some questions, maybe even find out some information and see where that leads us. Kind of, we've got 4 different potential causes for the missing children. One of them we're going to be having to go and look at anyway, so I'm thinking let's exhaust the other 3 potential options first, and then if we exhaust all that and we turn nothing up, then it's clearly the 4th and we have to go find the mage anyway. How does that sound to both Rukhar and Rukhar?
Rukhar will just nod his head in agreement.
Guessing same for Rukhar?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
He's an agreeable sort.
Is he though?
See?
Maybe in the tavern because of the hex.
See, huh? He did buy everybody around.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, except for you
I'm
guys.
pretty sure he's actually just delusional right now, as what I think's happening. So
He's also a dwarf, and dwarves like their
He
drink.
previously snapped,
You
so
know how we can find out if the hex
this is also very true. He did.
Hey,
nap
hey
a bit.
Rukhar. Do you like Meepo?
No. He gets
All right, he's
rid
still
of
himself. We're good. We're
He
good.
gets rid of ill intent, not no feelings.
yeah.
Would you want Meepo?
What's that?
Would you want to harm Meepo?
Why would I need to anymore?
There we go.
Alright. So, we just kind of... Altharion will start eating his meal and... Yeah, just recline back.
Wait, you haven't been eating?
Not whilst I've been talking, how can I talk with food in my mouth?
I hate to break it to you, I ate my meal and yours.
That's right.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I want to start taking from Altharion's meal too.
Oh, same. I got to. I gotta get
Yeah.
Oh, not back to this.
Yeah, that's right.
Not like this.
Oh, everything is circular, man.
It is. It is. Oh, goodness me.
Nah, sounds like you've been smoking whatever Stanamier's been smoking.
Right. Love it.
Love it.
Okay. It just means that we really like your food, Scotty. E-I-E-I-O.
You did it.
There
He
it
did
is.
it. The MVP of the stream is Box today. Well done.
I haven't done anything.
That's all you had to do. That was it.
And the fact was, he also did in my chat at the start of stream too.
And at the beginning of the stream, whenever you first got in here, but I stated that I was not going to refer to you in any other way.
Damn it, Box. Anywho.
It's okay. You love me, Scotty. E-I-E-I-O.
We're gonna get a message from Scott. He's like, I think I'm done playing D&D. I don't think I'm gonna make it anymore.
He's gonna do like the old like it's not you, it's me, but he's gonna be like it's not you guys, it's Box.
I don't want to name names, but
If I had to name a name, it would be Nacho.
Anywho,
I love it. I love it. As you guys are having this conversation, Danica has gone back and forth from the back room outside to check the children and back inside. And she gives Rick, the gentleman with her, a small satchel of apples and 2 wrapped bags of what look like the meat that she delivered to you guys. But the bags are essentially paper, but they're actually dripping with blood, so it's fresh.
Ew.
Wow.
He
Graphic.
gets up and starts to leave. Well, I had to give you the idea. He starts to leave. Can everybody give me a perception check? Just a quick one.
sure thing.
Oh my god.
Not Rogar.
I give up on my rolls today.
My character sheet's trying to load
Yeah.
completely, I guess.
There we
Yeah, I'm
go.
just
Well,
loading
bite
it.
me,
It's
nAga.
me, it's Amy being king.
Hiya!
I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever seen nAga not roll like a nat 20
decent
on a
number, yeah,
perception
tell me
check.
about it.
One of the
Tell me
reasons
about
I
it.
love monks.
Monks are a little itty bit OP. All right.
Not
The
even
best
like
class.
a monk
The best
thing. That's
class.
just you keep
Yeah,
going that
there
close.
we go.
Nat 20s.
All right, all right.
All right.
My character sheet does not want to load.
Love to see it.
Bro.
I tabbed over to it and I just have boxes with nothing in it.
You might have to refresh.
I thought you were saying that you just had my character sheet pulled up. I was like, what?
No.
Let's
No,
go,
all I
chat.
have-
Nat 20.
Yeah.
I told you when we started playing D&D this would get confusing.
There we go. All right. There it is. There we go.
Okay. I'm actually glad that you two critted that because you're the only two that can see it. As he gets to the door,
Was it in the future?
it was actually you had to have a 20 to see it. It was a high roll.
Oh.
As he gets to the door and he looks back, he tips his hat up just at you two. Nobody else really catches it because they're all in your own conversation. And he's not the same person that you just saw. He puts his hat back down and leaves.
A hat of disguise?
You're welcome. You know, you wait, all right, meta. No, I'm kidding. No, yes.
Naga doesn't know.
1000%.
Naga doesn't know.
Yeah, you do though. Yeah.
Naga is going to take a very big swig of his water.
Beautiful.
Altharion's just gonna be like,
Was that
of course.
Zoltan?
No, that was Rick.
Rick. Okay.
Rick.
That is a very normal name.
I mean,
You have Zoltan and his buddy Rick.
well, they weren't buddies. Just saying. Rick was what she called him. He never introduced himself. And you've heard the name before, or similar, anyway.
Yeah. There was a music artist named Astley.
Oh my god.
You're just gonna have to give it up.
And let everyone down.
I'm never gonna let you down.
Oof.
I don't know.
Oof.
All right, and we're wrapping up stream, you guys.
Just rickrolled everybody in everybody's chats.
how I do it.
I hate
That's how it
everything.
All right.
They started it.
Yeah. So Altharion's just kind of like, okay, cool. That's either the hat's doing it or he's got like disguise self, because Altharion knows that.
Knows just yes.
Yeah,
He could be a changeling.
that too. So
Those people will get in anywhere. It's really annoying.
Naga stares at you, Nacho. Particularly your hands.
Beautiful. I love that that's still around. As everybody's still kind of chattering, Box and Carric, you both still notice, they're muffled now, but annoyingly loud squawking coming from the back of the inn.
Annoyingly loud what?
Squawking.
Squawking?
The ravens.
Okay, I thought you said something else.
The ravens.
I don't even want to know what you think I said.
Okay.
I kind of do. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't want to. Mm-mm.
Like, I thought you
I'm
said like
highly interested.
gawking, like Gaulk, like gawk.
No.
Like,
no,
like
that
there was very like gawk, 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 gawk. I was
That-
like, I don't want to know what this is.
also makes me want to vomit. Thank you. I'm not okay with this.
I mean, I don't know what these people are into, but like, geez.
So
Sign
those
me
meat
up.
sticks.
Sheesh.
Oh, drag her in a corner. Okay.
Asshole.
I mean, yeah, but
Oh, that's
you were
mean.
at the bar before, though, as well, correct?
Oh, I was talking about somebody
Yeah.
else's meat stick comment.
Full circle.
Every time. Every time. You're particularly eyeing up, Drac, the wine barrels that are visible to you behind Danica. One of them has a familiar logo. The other does not. The third looks broken, but too dirty for you to read. One of them says quite clearly, Red Dragon Crush. The other, as you start to look a little bit closer and everybody's talking around you a little bit and you're kind of zoning out, it says Purple Grape Mash.
Ooh. I'm gonna walk back to the bar. Can I get a mug of that other wine?
The purple?
Rukhar is gonna grab a glass
Yes.
too.
Okay. She gives you a pretty plain mug, considerably smaller than your goblet of insanity.
I love it.
And she hands it to you, and she smiles a little bit, and she goes, "That's on the house. Let us know what you think." And Rukhar, you said you wanted them too?
Yep.
The purple or the red?
The purple, I think. The Dracax.
Purple.
Mhm.
Yeah, he did the purple. Okay.
The free one. Yeah.
She gives you the same one.
I'm gonna have to pay for it, aren't I?
Nope. Mm-mm. She kind of gets it, and she has like a gleam, a little bit of a gleam in her eye. She goes, "We make this here, actually. This is our own version." And I'd love to know
Well,
your
thank you very
thoughts.
much. Absolutely.
Start drinking it.
Yeah, I take a big old swig.
Okay.
Do I
You
feel
still
funny?
don't, you like the taste. It's very dry, but not bitter. It's a sweeter wine.
Alrighty, chat. I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna take a quick bio break. Keep on listening to
About,
these
like,
guys. Hope
Okay.
you're enjoying the stream.
5 or so minutes. You both feeling pretty damn good.
All right.
Something about this place seems to have changed a little bit.
Oh.
It's cleaner. A little bit nicer.
It's made with the name water. Is
I have no comment.
Bird's awfully quiet.
And just let me know if the grass feels real good.
Yeah.
Rokhar's gonna look at the barkeep and be like, "Some good stuff."
Bird.
Yeah.
What would happen if I mix both wine?
Oh no.
Or just pour that wine into your goblet.
Give me
Well, there's a thing for this?
Arcana check.
A what?
An Arcana check.
Arcana. Oh, that's pretty good.
You think that they taste pretty good together, but you're also more curious about this goblet and if it's just that one wine or if it's any wine. But for the taste, you think it would do okay. It might make the sweetness of the purple wine a little bit more dry. And it might just touch your palate a little bit better.
All right, I'm back, team.
I'm gonna mix them.
I need to look at my rolls here. 1 second.
Oh, the rolls. Oh god.
I just need to see what they are. What do I want you to do?
Is this for both of us or just him?
Just him because he's mixing and blending.
He's mixing? Got it.
Yeah. I'm actually on your sheet right now because I want to see.
Dun dun dun.
Give me a
Mixing the blood of children. This is some...
straight wisdom.
Ooh. Ouch.
Okay. You start to mix them, but you notice that the purple is just disappearing. You don't even taste it inside the red.
Rukhar's gonna take another large sip of his purple.
You're feeling quite amazing. You're noticing that it almost feels like it's brighter in the room. Like the lights are more. And Danica seems to have gotten a little bit prettier. But you don't feel
That's
drunk per se.
Okay. Don't feel drunk, but everything around me looks better.
Yeah.
You're high as fuck.
it's using the tainted water.
Do my party members look any different?
No.
Okay.
No, pretty much the
Just-
same.
To be fair,
just the barkeep
I
looks
always
better.
look good. So
That was an excellent question, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
So just the barkeep looks better, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do with that.
Where would you guys like to go from here? Or what would you like to do? Because that's going to determine whether or not we continue going or if you shut up, Kane. Or if you if I stop you.
Is this individual here or is he upstairs?
Who are we looking at? He is at the top of the stairs. He
So he's
hasn't
not
gone very far.
upstairs yet. Okay.
No, not yet. He's
What-
kind of hovering,
Blocking the way.
essentially.
What time of day is it per se that we're at right now?
By the scene of everybody starting to leave and things starting to quiet down a bit, you're starting to think that it's getting towards the evening or could be in the evening, late evening.
Okay.
Not quite sure.
Hmm.
It does look to you, though, that Danica is starting to clean up.
Okay.
To go back at something that was previously discussed about the inn being under a hex.
Mm-hmm.
Is this being considered then, or is this just a bar separate from the inn?
No, the whole thing is considered, the whole building.
Okay.
First floor and any other floors.
So Carric's, and he would that would be under that understanding, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
Carric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if you tried, I mean, you can try to do something of ill intent. You would learn very quickly what would happen.
No, I just was. Carric's gonna take time to note that all the people that went outside might be standing outside since it stopped at the door. We don't.
Correct.
Can they have ill intent thought? I get some clarification.
be
And
just
if
the
we knew
building.
this, they
Yeah.
can't do anything, but they could have thoughts of it in terms of like
Yeah,
they saw us to go outside and then do something.
They very well could if that was the case. Part of the way that the normal patrons that come here understand, and the way that they don't really control that portion, it doesn't seem to happen very often, if ever. Something about walking in kind of, you don't gather any ill intent while you're here.
Got it.
So if you had it prior, you might have it after, but it's not
Not
something
while you're
that
in there.
becomes exactly.
So we wouldn't
Well,
even
then
want to
scratch my
try
thought.
something here.
Right.
Scratch my thought. I was just Carric was gonna note that those people leaving, quickly might be waiting outside for us. No.
I mean, you're more than welcome to look.
I'm more worried about the children.
That too.
So I think Rukhar might sort of turn and be like, getting a little late, and those kids still haven't come back in. I'm probably gonna take a step outside and go see what's going on.
When you step outside, you see the two boys and the two gentlemen that you were talking to earlier. What looks like they're playing kind of like a hide and seek / tag. There's lots of giggling and laughing. It's strange for here. It's something that you haven't seen through Barovia yet, where the children look like they're actually enjoying themselves. You don't know if it's a sense of just this location, or if it's just this city, or what, but they actually look kind of happy. And the two adults, Jenny and Zoldar, are enjoying themselves. It seems like they do this often.
I will go ahead and I'm still drinking my wine, but I will go ahead and ask the barkeep if there's any rooms available.
I was literally thinking of walking up to do the exact same thing, Kane.
There are 3 double bedrooms available, and 1 single, but there's extra cots available if needed. The other rooms are taken.
All right, so 4 rooms. Single goes to the lady. Everyone else shares. Like always, you guys decide who sleeps with me, since
nAga immediately raises his hand.
My dragon bro. All right, so I need sleeping arrangements when we get up there.
Rokhar's gonna come back in, having seen that the kids are okay.
Okay. Well, you guys can't see where. All right, so if I'm gonna have to hop you guys around, to be honest.
I'll also, off the back of hearing Drakax ask, I'll just ask, how much is it per night we're friends of Stanamier's?
And she looks at you and she kind of looks up a little bit, and she looks like she's doing math. And she smiles a little bit and she goes, I'm not good at math. It's 1 gold apiece. You could stay for the week.
Damn.
Holy crap. Okay.
No problem at all, and I pay for the entire party.
Okay.
Oh, he's so generous.
Dang, what a nice guy.
Right?
Sweet. Even though you guys are like little millionaires compared to like the normal average person,
So,
they don't realize
Yeah.
that.
I'm gonna make like 2 silver an hour.
Yeah, they're kind of poor around these regions.
To let you guys all know, back from the third session where we found all those items on those goblins, I've actually got 35 gold. That's party gold, so I'm actually going to use that. I'm going to use 9 out of that. Just
Love
to...
party gold.
Yes.
So, Evanora, I'm gonna grab you and give you your individual room here because they were kind enough to give you that. So if you scroll up a little bit, you should have a new room available.
Until you get ambushed and you have no friend to help.
I would like to not have my own room.
No, it shouldn't be keeping the fog of war up. So I'll try to fix that for the next time. You should be able to see rooms you've already been in without having to go back and forth. And I don't know why it's not working.
Sugar, if you don't want the single room, I'll take it.
I will say that the single room is going to be just outside of a double bedroom. So you're kind of like right next to each other.
Okay.
As well.
Okay.
And you're at like an end of a hallway. Like if you step out, you'll actually bump into Rukhar. If you go up a couple of blocks here. I'm just gonna
Oh, there we
bounce
go.
around a little bit. Yeah, so at this hallway,
Oh, I see.
that second bedroom is right there to the left. There's a staircase there as well that leads to inside the inn. The outside staircase is all the way across on the other side.
Okay, that's not.
You can,
Okay,
if
all right.
you look over the side of the banister where you just crossed over, you can see the inn. Like it's
Okay,
open
that's
open
not-
ceiling.
All right.
It's not bad.
That's okay.
It's not,
That's okay.
Yeah, not bad at all.
So...
itty bitty.
I
As-
actually. I'm
Sorry, I was
looking
just
at this,
gonna
I'm like,
also say, as Altharion's kind of walking up and hear Evanora's slight... Whoa!
can we see?
Yeah, I
Thank
can
you.
see everything.
I'm like, I don't need to
My
have
eyes.
freaking this on here at all, especially if it's being a pain in the ass. So now you can see what I'm talking about. So Evanora's room will be up there in the corner. You've
Yeah.
got a double bed right there, the two on the other side as well. This room here is taken, and this room here is taken.
Is this one here taken?
Currently, no, but you can definitely hop in to any of these.
Well, I guess as we're going up the stairs and hearing Evanora is a bit of unease, you could say, as being alone. I was gonna go into the single, one of the two single, that room immediately, like up in front of hers, and just go, I'll be in that room, we'll be fine. And just kind of put her at ease.
Cool.
Okay. I mean, you're more than welcome to not take the single room if you don't want it, but it is available and was offered to you.
We have enough
I mean,
beds?
as the only female in the party, I don't
Yeah.
mind a single
Right,
room.
exactly.
A little bit of privacy.
I kind of figured. You don't have enough rooms.
Okay, so
You'll need to double bunk somebody.
I mean, nAga already said he wants to come to my room.
No,
I was gonna say Rukhar was gonna volunteer to like stand guard type of thing, sort of pull the night shift.
Okay, so you can always swap out. To be fair,
If you're gonna,
with somebody for an extra bed.
if you're gonna do that, Rukhar, if you're happy to take first, whilst I'm happy to take second.
For sure. So he'll just be sort of at the, where's the door? So these are the stairs. Oh, the stairs
Yeah.
are up here?
So yeah,
Oh, over
there's
here.
the stairs there. Yeah. There's another set of stairs that's right directly behind you. That goes to the barn area where Madame Eva was. Back out
Okay.
there. You can actually see top hay and the barn below as well.
Got it.
And then this staircase is the staircase that goes outside on the front of the building.
So in some semblance, we're kind of split in terms of sleeping arrangements.
We are,
then.
yeah.
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 Two different ways.
This staircase here as well goes up to the roof.
We still have to double bunk because
Yeah. We're too many still.
Rukhar and Carric haven't decided where.
Carric doesn't need a bed.
I'm gonna see that there's not enough beds, so I'm just gonna walk down the stairs outside, and I'm gonna go over to the barn. I'm gonna sleep in the barn.
There
with the
you go.
horses.
Okay.
Carric doesn't need a bed. He's got trance, so he is in semi-conscious state. So he's basically able to stand guard.
Can Rogar see across to this other
Yep,
side?
it's completely visible, and you can look down from where you're standing and see the entrance. The door is directly underneath here, to the front
Perfect.
of the building.
So he's going to
Yeah.
take position right there then.
Okay. Yeah, you can actually see everything, except for what goes on underneath you, which is the bar and the kitchen, essentially.
Yeah. Perfect.
Hmm.
As long as I can see all the party members' doors, essentially, then
Yeah,
that's,
you can see every
that's good.
single door. You'll also be able to see where the children sleep, which is interesting, because they're in this the quadruple bunk over here.
Okay.
And the parents are at the other door that's taken up
Got it.
top.
Carric,
They feel very safe here. They don't sleep on top of each other, that kind of thing. They're very content.
Mm-hmm.
However, each of these rooms does look like it's been lived in. There's some things that people have left behind. They're cozy, they're warm, they're well lit, a couple of candles. There's some storage trunks that if you would like to, Danica does have a key for that you could use, so you could store some stuff if you would like, if you plan on staying long term.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't typically come and go super late. She's kind of just, as she's pacing the bar and kind of telling everybody where to go, she's kind of rambling about how sweet it is here. She absolutely loves it. Altharion, can you give me a insight check?
Sure. Insight. You love to see it?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Only because you did do a very high perception earlier, and you are the one kind of helming the money, and discussing a little bit about the arrangement with her. You notice that she says that she likes it, and it's super sweet. But there's something else. Something you can't quite put your finger on yet. And when she talks, you notice that the ravens stop. And when she stops, they start again.
Right. Am I able to see them on the inside?
Not from where you are. Avery, however, is pretty much sitting with them.
It's very loud in here.
It is quite loud.
I'm
But it's more of
regretting
an
my decision.
echo than anything else. It's because of the way that the building is positioned that room seems incredibly loud. There's too many to count. But they don't look like your typical raven. They almost look... They're larger than average, and their feathers sort of glisten different colors when you look at them at different lights. Sometimes they look like normal ravens, but other times there might be a reddish hue or a blondish hue to those feathers.
Oh. And Avery's the one that notices this?
Yeah. Well, Avery's pretty much chilling with them at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm
hanging
gonna, I'm about to go to sleep with the in this barn, so I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna go, "Night, Strahd and other vampires," and I'm gonna go to sleep.
I mean, those are bats, not ravens, but maybe
Whatever.
we can go with that. Mhm.
Yep. That's what he's assuming.
That's fair. That is totally fair. I love it. I love it.
Hmm.
So as everybody starts to kind of settle in a little bit, who starts to fall asleep?
Not Rukhar.
I mean, Evanora would.
nAga
Okay,
100%.
so nAga, Avery, Evanora. Carric doesn't. Carric doesn't need to sleep. Varric, are you gonna tuck her down?
I don't think he would at this point because
Okay.
just of past events
That's fair.
and just it brings him anxiety at this point.
Okay, that's fair.
Carric's
That's fair.
kind of sitting here on the ground, cross-legged in his trance state. He's
Okay.
essentially taking his sleep,
Okay,
but not
Right.
fully sleeping.
for sure.
Are you telling
So
me Varric doesn't want to dream anymore?
Carric's
I
never.
mean, Carric never tried.
Or
Varric, on
Varric,
the other hand,
sorry.
is like,
Varric, I
I'm
mean,
not
yeah.
going to sleep ever again. You're not gonna make me. However, the few of you that do fall asleep, you hear the ravens throughout the night, and they're on and off. And each time that they get quiet, you can hear in the distance a light humming.
Thanks for the immersion.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
The AC's
It's-
running.
It's delicate. It's very sweet sounding. Avery, since you're the only one that's kind of laying down with the ravens at the moment, you sleep fairly well, but periodically throughout the night, you wake up to get more comfortable or roll over or change position in some sort, and you could swear that there are people sitting with you.
So I was right.
I cannot confirm nor deny if you were correct or not.
Well, if I was correct, I don't think they're too happy about me just like calling them out on it. So I'm going to pretend that I am not awake and go back to sleep.
Fair.
Druids?
Evanora, as you're sleeping, you have this feeling that something about the people that you've seen around this town are not who they say they are. Whether it's morally or not, some of them seem to have almost a blurred visual to you. And it's only really coming to you as you sleep. Whether it was Madame Eva or if it was Fiona or anybody really, Isaac, they look the way they are, but at certain angles, you see somebody completely different. You're not quite sure who that person is, but it's the person you want to see.
The person I want to see?
Yeah, you have this draw to that specific person. You're trying in your mind to find them, but you're not quite sure who to look at because they all start to look like that person.
Okay. Well then.
nAga, you start to have a little bit of a dream-ish, where you think it's a dream, but you're not quite sure if you're awake, that Drax is standing in the corner of their room, changing colors a little bit.
He's a chameleon.
He's a chameleon, bro?
What?
He doesn't seem quite as red as he did when you met him. And every time he moves through the room, he seems to get lighter and darker.
The hell?
Does he change to like specifically different colors or?
The one that you can catch the most is more of a crimson amber color. But it
Okay.
seems to get lighter and then go back, as if it's on purpose.
This is important for nAga's notebook.
I need to read nAga's notebook.
I think we all need to read his notebook. Let's be honest.
I know, I need this in my life.
And does he tap the pen 3 times?
Yes.
No, that's only the staff.
Only the staff. Love it. Carric is meditating. Altharion, you don't really sleep.
So I was gonna say, like, he doesn't really, like, he sleeps lightly, and that's just the half elf side of him, being able to be like, cool, I can run off not much sleep, but he stays awake a bit longer than everyone else. He kind of wants to prep his gear for his watch, and then he sleeps in such a way that he's actually got his sword kind of clenched up in his hand. Just being fully aware of what he said to Evanora, and he kind of wants to be ready at a moment's notice.
Okay. Rukhar, are you sleeping?
Yes.
Okay. So between Rukhar sleeping like a dwarf, and Altharion kind of sleeping mostly, you're both standing in what feels like the center of a palace or a mansion. You're standing together and you're both ready. We've got, a big battle axe thing. We've got the big swords. We've got weapons. We've got all kinds of things everywhere laying around at your feet. That's why he's only just partially sleeping. I'm just saying. And around you are just dozens of what look like dead bodies. And you're kind of back to back panting. And you're not sure who is around you or what is around you. And the palace, the hallway that you're standing in, or the central hall, feels larger than anything you've been in recent times. It's tall and it feels circular, and there's balconies above you that look like they go for miles. You cannot see out the top, but there's no ceiling that you can see either. The only thing that you can hear is a gentle sing-song of what sounds kind of like a hummingbird. It's very high-pitched, but it's towards the top of the tower.
Stonework?
No, actually. It's primarily wood.
Okay.
Sorry.
So throw that in there.
Can I tell what type of timber it is?
It's something that you haven't seen in a very long time, if ever. It's something that is fabled, essentially. It's something that you've been looking for a while.
Can I still roll a history check on it?
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
Mahogany.
I'm going to make a history check as well. Because I think I need to know about this. Nah, can't remember with the dwarf sleeping beside me,
But
cannot remember.
You do feel it. You know that this is something that you've recognized, Altharion, and it's something that both of you are going to need to be in together. Whether you're cognizant of either one of you having the dream together, we don't know. But you know, when you look around, that no one else is there but Rukhar. You also notice that some of the weapons of some of your party mates are laying at the floor at your feet. And that's where we'll pick it up next time.
Okay.
I'm gonna die.
Of course.
Oh gosh.
God dang.
You can add an extra question if you'd like. You're more than welcome.
Nothing big.
Oh, goodness.
Well done.
Varric is like, I'm never sleeping again.
Nope.
Nope.
I've got a gut feeling what I know that this tower is. Out of character, I reckon it's the disappearing tower that I'm hunting for.
Ooh.
Hunting for a disappearing tower?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, right.
Remember
Interesting.
how there was that we were told that there was a flying tower, Mage's tower flying around Barovia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Found it.
Yeah, that's what I think. That dream is
To be
old.
clear,
Oh, no.
this is a tower that, by legend and lore, to most of you is well known, and it's never been physically seen.
Interesting.
I mean, it is a disappearing tower.
Oh yeah,
I am
Makes
no
sense.
longer a dragonborn. I am a chameleon.
you are a chameleon.
It's canon now.
It's
It
canon.
really is.
Yeah, and there's definitely been there's a lot of interesting little lore pieces that were just dropped in front of you all. So I'm excited a little bit for next time because shit's about to get real heavy. However, I would like you all to level up in the meantime. At least a level, for everybody, so we can go into this hot mess that you're about to embark upon feeling a little
I'm a
bit
waterbender
safer
now.
than you are at
Yay!
the moment.
Safer.
Um,
Safer.
But the fact
How
that
do
you
I
guys
level up
actually
again?
survived a couple things that could have potentially been really bad, and that
Okay.
Kane did not accidentally blow up the tavern, you're fine.
Wait, hold
Yeah.
on. I was
Wait,
supposed to
what?
go over the tavern.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
How do I level up?
Did you
No.
find it,
Freaking
Smithy?
You go
No.
to your
Okay.
character sheet,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna go to the little cog wheel.
Top right.
Yep, and not the one that's next to your background, but the one that's next to your core bio and spells.
Oh.
Right.
top right.
And
Got it.
and then you're gonna go to launch level plus character mancer. Don't hit the launch level 1 character mancer because it will
Yeah, no, no, no.
reset your character.
So many
Um,
things.
Anybody who has to leave, goodbye. I have to go take care of a thing really quick, but I will be back.
Okay.
Yay!
I'm going to
Nice.
end my stream.
Yeah, I'll do that upgrade later. Well,
I also
thank you everybody for a great session.
As always.
It's been so much fun.
Absolutely.
I've been kind of waiting for that level 4 hit. I've noticed that it's been a hot minute since we got to level 3, so I'm like,
Well,
So-
especially for you. Rangers come online at level 4.
yeah.
You said at least one level, right?
I thought she said
Oh,
we're
we're
level
going-
9
I'm-
now.
No, level
Going to
4.
20.
I'm pretty sure
We're
it's
going
level
to
9.
You're 9. I'm 20.
She's not
Uh,
protesting, so
Yeah, right.
Bird, if you disagree, let us know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Radio silence. Level
Oh,
9 it is.
ridiculous.
Alrighty, tape. Well, I'm going to keep on going. It's been absolutely awesome playing with you all, and I will catch you all
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah. I will
Good.
also go end my stream. I'll be back shortly.
Alrighty, team. No, it's level 7. She said go up 4 levels. Okay. I will go up 4 levels. I'll confirm that. We'll see how that goes. No. Anyway. But that was an awesome session. I had so much fun with that. Playing through. No, it's not. Yeah, you're just playing into the gag that everyone else was. Nah, it's good. It's good. I'm actually really enjoying this. I'm looking forward to see where we go from here. But thank you everyone for joining us. It's been absolutely awesome. And session 13 will be happening more than likely next week.